All right, let's get into this. All right, so we got round. I actually don't know what round this is. 12. Emmy with the Mew versus Juan with Arceus, B-Barrel, Charizard. So no Pidgeot. No Pidgeot here. So a little bit more resilient under Path to the Peak. And then like one less stage 2 you have to worry about setting up through Rare Candy. Also, it's one less 2-prize liability in play while also being able to take advantage of like the Arceus's setup potential. So it's an interesting build for sure. I'm not sure I like it more than the Pidgeot overall, to be honest. But it does kind of depend on how much Path is in the format, I think, as well as like when you'd want to go away from Pidgeot. So this matchup, it depends a lot on the Charizard player's build. Like playing Arceus is already kind of a hit for this matchup. So the win condition for Emmy as the Mew player is to like hand lock the opponent early game and then start to get ahead in the prize exchange and then hopefully be able to carry that through to the end of the game. So Emmy plays the Luxray and the Grabber and Path and Judge and all that stuff. And then Juan plays, I believe, 4 Lost City. But I think actually like a bigger deal for this matchup to get out of the Path to the Peak potentially on Juan's side is the Mew plus vacuums. Because then you can actually like dig for the vacuum. Like if you don't have a out to the path in hand as Juan, then you can use Mew to like find vacuum potentially. So yeah, Emmy gonna be looking to like Judge Path early game, Luxray, some Pokemon grabbers maybe, and then from Juan it's gonna be get out of the path and set up Charizards. And if you get out of the paths and set up the Charizards as Juan, you just win the game. So that's all that matters. And we do see the Luxray start here from Emmy. Juan with no Charmander down early. And then just the attach to Arceus pass. Emmy is not playing any fusion package in here, though. So there's no possibility for a turn 1 Arceus KO or anything like that. So we're definitely going to be looking for an early handlock angle here from Emmy. So going to be looking for Judge. There goes a Grabber. So going to be looking for Judge plus the Luxray attack. I already see the Judge in hand, actually, to be honest. And it was a Tails on the Cram. Am I at the right speed here? 1.5? Okay, yeah. I'll turn this down a little bit. There's an Ultra Ball. I think the Judge is in hand as well. Goes for a Mew instead of a Genesect. I actually don't hate that. Oh, and then there's Path Judge immediately. Ooh, I don't know how much I like this. Because now if Emmy got the heads on the Cram, I wouldn't hate this. But even then, so like one of the things is like, Emmy can't just pull off the combo. Emmy also has to be able to like threaten attacks on following turns, or Juan will eventually like top deck out of the lock and like attack with Charizard, or even just attack with Arceus is going to be enough sometimes. So I'm not sure how much I like this Path to the Peak. I think Emmy probably should have not pathed. Hope to hit some Genesects, Nest Balls, Ultra Ball, Battle VIP Pass off the Judge, and then draw first, and then try and find Path plus Double Turbo that way. Because right now, Emmy is like playing the Path, which means Emmy basically has to hit 4 Seal Stone or Double Turbo off this Judge to like do anything. If Emmy had gotten heads on the Cram, well, I don't know. I still think Battle VIP Pass there would have been better. If Emmy had hit heads on Cram, I think I would like to have seen Battle VIP Pass, get double Genesect, even Ultra Ball. This Mew maybe should have been Genesect, then play the Judge, don't Path. The other play would have been Judge, Path, Double Turbo off the Cram, but then you still just only have one Mew in play and you have nothing set up, which means you're going to be able to pull off the initial Luxray combo to slow down Juan, but you don't actually set yourself up in a position to actually like get KOs. And especially when Juan opened no Charmander, just the Arceus, like if you KO this Arceus next turn before it evolves, you might just win the game there. So I think Emmy should not have put the Path in play the Judge. If there was a heads on the Cram, I think Emmy should have grabbed a Battle VIP Pass, played that, just grabbed double Genesect, Ultra Ball for a third Genesect actually, and then play the Judge and go from there. But we'll see where it goes from here. What we find off the Judge here for both players is going to be a big deal. Also, the early Bidoof from Juan is actually a really big deal as well, because now B-Barrel or an Ultra Ball off of this Judge from Juan gets him into the B-Barrel, and then B-Barrel draws cards, gets you back into the game. So, yeah, the B-Barrel is actually good. Specifically in this matchup, the B-Barrel is way better than Pidgeot, because all you need to do is set up, and like having some kind of draw power through an Ultra Ball, like a B-Barrel that isn't affected by Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak is a pretty big deal. There's a 4 Seal Stone from Emmy, so we can see the Double Turbo grab. I can't see the rest of the hand. There's an Escape Rope in there, which I wouldn't hate to see played. I don't think. There's a Feather Ball for another Mew. Then here comes the V-Star power. There's the Double Turbo. So we get the lock, but like I said, the lock's not enough. You can't just sit here and do 10 damage with Luxray over and over again. Eventually, Juan will just draw into Pokemon and energy and be fully set up. So, like I said, I think I would like to have seen Emmy not put the path out aggressively, but and then here we go with Luxray attack. And unfortunately, there's only... I wonder if Emmy should... I think there was an escape up in the hand there for Emmy. I don't know about playing it, though, because you only have 2 cards, so that way you can, like, at least Ultra Ball next turn, I guess. All right, look at the hand. See, this is, like, one of the problems right now. So Juan doesn't really have anything. Like, Juan doesn't have an aggressive play next turn, really, right? But Emmy's not going to do anything back to Juan anyways. So Juan, like, literally benching Arceus and hitting for 110 is fine. Or just using Trinity Charge and loading up both Arceus would also be fine here from Juan. So there's the 10 damage. Like I said, there's no real... Oh, and there's the top deck Arceus. All right. So, like, Juan is, like, in a better spot here overall. Even though Emmy pulled off the turn 1 combo... You need more than just the combo. You don't settle at the combo. You need to be able to have an aggressive like Mew attack on the following turn to actually make it worth the while of pulling the combo off. But that's a pretty good judge there for Juan to be honest. That's like I like combo involved. Like this is pretty much as good as it gets here. And there we go, 180. And yeah, now it's looking really rough for Emmy. We need like a top deck here because I think that the hand had a escape rope. I think I don't know what the other card is. It could be a draw supporter, and then that would be something. But this already feels like this game is out of control, to be honest, for Emmy. I feel like this game's already too far gone. I feel like this game is like already too far gone. Like I don't know if Emmy ever actually makes a comeback here. Well, we could see. Yeah, what would you even have to see here from Emmy? I don't even know if it's like possible. You'd have to one-hit KO the active this turn and then reestablish path to the peak. Well, actually, reestablishing path wouldn't be. No, yeah, if Emmy can one-hit KO the Arceus here, I guess Emmy's fine. Into nothing. So I wasn't tilted. Yeah. Yeah, if Emmy actually one-hit KOs, because you know the last card in Juan's hand is Fire Energy, right? I think we know what that is. So if Emmy just gets the one-hit KO on the Arceus here, then Emmy's in a fine spot. But that's like a pretty tall order. I have no idea what Emmy's hand is here. Oh, Cram? Tails. So it has 1 card hand of an escape rope. So it's just a punch, shows the fire. Okay. I guess there is technically still hope for Emmy. Emmy, once again, could still do the same thing because Juan didn't top deck anything. Does get 2 prize cards to work with, though, on Juan's side. So we'll have 2 more cards to work with. So if Emmy can still one-hit KO the active Arceus here, I think there is still... I think there's still hope for Emmy here. Like, if you one-hit KO the active Arceus here, there's still hope. But I think Juan did just pull the other Arceus out the prize cards there. So now, even if Emmy gets the knockout here, another path would also have to come back and play here. But Emmy's in the chat. Yeah, I know, I see. Yeah, there's the conceit. That's fair. Escape rope retrieved the Mewtwo attack into the BDIF, right? Yeah, I think so as well. You should have played the escape rope there just to, like, potentially... Oh, yeah, because Emmy even knew there was a double turbo in hand as well. The only reason you wouldn't want to play the escape rope is if you want to keep it out for Ultra Ball. But, well, I guess you also want to keep the out for Cram as well off the top. I think the escape rope was probably correct there, though, with how bad of a hand that Emmy had. I would like to have seen the escape rope get played as well, I think. Because you're like a couple turns away from probably being able to like do anything too threatening. Let's take a look at these prize cards real fast. All right. BDIF prize for Juan, but does play a 2/2. Mew VMAX prize. I mean, there's nothing really important on either side here. I don't know how many Judge Emmy plays. It has to be more than 1, though. Yeah. All right. We'll see. So Emmy's going first this time. So in this... I honestly... I don't know what Emmy should try and set up for here on this next turn. There's the Mew start from Juan, which is really annoying. The Mew's like really, really good. Like the Mew almost wants to be your target here, especially up against like the B-Barrel build. Because like if Juan gets down a BDIF, then the Mew can become an Ultra Ball. And then the Ultra Ball becomes B-Barrel. So I think what Emmy's plan should be here is turn 2 KO Mew, Judge Path. Depending on how Juan's turn 1 goes. But yeah, I feel like as long as a BDIF hits the board, the Mew is like actually the biggest threat on board. Because even if you have an Arc V-Star, you also need a Stadium Bump to use the Arc V-Star under the path. So, yeah. So I think Emmy's plan should be get to a Mew VMAX, turn 2 Mew VMAX KO Mew, Judge Path, and then hope that's like enough to like carry the initial part of the game. I don't think you like play too aggressively for the lock here, but it looks like Emmy is gonna go for the Luxray lock still. The thing is the Luxray lock is just not good into Mew. Because you go Luxray, discard a trainer card from hand, then Mew's like, okay, cool, you didn't KO my Mew. Or then Juan's like, cool, you didn't KO my Mew. Use Mew, get an Ultra Ball, play an Ultra Ball. You know? So, I think Emmy should give up on Luxray, especially with the Mew start from Juan. If the Mew wasn't in play, then I would maybe make the judgment call on the next turn as Emmy to maybe go into Luxray versus not. But Emmy definitely should not tunnel vision on Luxray. Luxray should be like a call going into the next turn. Emmy should make a judgment call going to the next turn. Like Emmy could like just set up 5 or 4 bench Pokemon, leave a bench space open, and then depending on how Juan's turn goes and what Emmy has access to for a play, could use Luxray or choose to hold off on the Luxray. So I don't like definitely I don't like the tunnel vision on the Luxray. It should be something you just never bench here aggressively. It should always be, okay, in the next turn, what actually happens on the, what does Juan actually do? Do I think going second might be better in this matchup? No, because the Mew player's not getting the aggressive attack off until the turn after. I think you should go first. I think you should, even though you have the handlock potential as the Mew deck, I think the Mew deck should still choose to go first when you, I don't think you should all in on the handlock. I think going first and going turn 2 Judge Path knockout is still really solid. And probably, is it a better game plan than the Luxray game plan though? That's a good question, to be honest, Equinox. I'm actually, the more I think about it, I'm not sure. But you like have to pull out, the thing is like, it's a lot easier to at least do Judge Path attack than it is to do turn 1 going second Judge Path Luxray. So I think I still like the idea of going first as Mew, especially up against the Arceus build, because Boss KO Arceus is like a really powerful play in this matchup as well. Yeah, so especially against the Arceus build, I like going first more because Boss KO Arceus or turn 2 KO Arceus is a really powerful play at shutting them down by itself. So, you can still Luxray going first. The only thing is you lose your opponent. Yeah, your opponent can support her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. Yeah, you can still Luxray as well. If you go first, you can do a turn 2. You shouldn't tunnel vision on it like Emmy did here, but you can still do it. Yeah. So I would say going first is always probably the better play. Oh, I also don't like this Mew grab here from Emmy. This should always be a Genesect. If you're a Mew player or you plan on picking up Mew, do not tunnel vision on the 2 Mewtwo Genesect. The second Mew should never hit the board before the third Genesect does. The third Genesect should always hit the board before the second Mew, and sometimes even before the first Mew, but that's pretty rare. But the third Genesect, like we never want triple Mew here as Emmy, especially in this matchup where it's like we get 1-hit KO'd anyways by the Charizard, so like Psychic Leaping really isn't like a thing. And if we want the option of Luxray in pretty much any matchup, this idea of Psychic Leap pretty much goes out the window. Also, the draw power of the third Genesect has such a higher potential reward than the Mew. So never go for second Mew before you go for third Genesect. I'm pretty sure Emmy did not prize the Genesects here, so. All right, yeah, so get third Genesect before second Mew pretty much 100% of the time. Nothing is all the time, but yeah, because of the Arceus, that's why I attached to Mew here, because I wish I would have attached to Luxray so I could have attached to Gen Retreat. But I wish I would have attached to Luxray so I could have attached to Gen Retreat. The other thing you could have done, Emmy, would be just to attach to the Genesect if you're a little bit undecided on what the turn 2 should look like. And that's actually something I'm not sure. Because of the Mew start, though, from Quan, I think KOing the Mew is more important. Playing with the idea of KOing the Mew is more important than a turn 2 attack with Luxray for sure. I think playing this board state out, like as if Juan just hits a Battle VIP Pass +1 Pokemon, the Mew becomes Ultra Ball becomes B-Barrel, Juan gets out of the potential of the lock. So I think KOing Mew should be like a priority here. So I think attaching to Mew is correct here. Yeah, get the third Genesect. Don't tunnel vision on the 2/2. I see that happen way too much because then this happens, right? Emmy uses the first Genesect, draws into a Mew, and now is locked out. Benching the Mew is probably correct here for Emmy to do. Like, benching this Mew is correct here, probably based on the board state where it is now. But now Emmy is locked out of a 3 Genesect in play, which, like, severely reduces the draw power turn to turn. Where if we just got a Genesect instead of the second Mew, a third Genesect instead of the second Mew there, then we just have 3 Genesect to rock with for draw power for the rest of the game. It's not 100. Remember, nothing is 100% of the time, but in this situation, definitely should have got the second Genesect. And I see people way too often go for the 2/2 before getting the third Genesect down. If they can't threaten your lone Mew V in play, then there's almost, even if they can threaten your lone Mew V in play, the extra draw power from the Genesect will probably lead you to another Mew V plus more cards to advance your board state for the following turn to where it's almost always just more beneficial to get the other Genesect down. There are rare scenarios where your opponent has a potential threat on your lone Mew V in play, where it's like if you then whiff another out to a basic Pokemon, you could get like, it could like just lose you the game instantly. But even in those situations, usually just getting the third Genesect first, and then that Genesect will probably draw you into an out to the Mew is worth the trade-off. All right, let's see what Juan gets this turn. So we want to see Arceus, Manders, honestly double Arceus. Depending on the hand for Juan, double Arceus V here is actually pretty good because then it like protects your Starbirth. And Emmy can't just like boss KO your lone Arceus V and like lock you out of Starbirth. So it depends what Juan has in the hand though. Like, so one Charmander at least. To be honest, double Charmander shouldn't even. I feel like you should maybe prioritize double Arceus before double Charmander here as Juan. You get double Charmander the turn after or something because like you should make sure you set up. You just don't want to get locked out of the game. So it depends how much value you put on Starbirth. But you ideally probably like actually you'd probably want like double Bidoof, double Charmander, double Arceus, actually, to be honest. I think it would like cover the full range of like outs. But like one Arceus, double Charmander, plus Bidoof would be good. You definitely want to get Bidoof down here as Quan, though. You want to prioritize Bidoof. Bidoof wants to be the priority. I don't know if you want to prioritize it over Arceus. We see the Nest Ball get used here from Quan to get the Arceus. Could have got the Bidoof. Could have got the Bidoof, but Quan does play a 2/2 B-Barrel, right? I'm almost positive Quan plays a 2/2 B-Barrel because one Bidoof is prized. Yeah, I don't know how much I value the Arceus. Honestly, do I value Bidoof more than Arceus first here? I might, to be honest. You're going to get Judge Path. You can use B-Barrel under Path. You can't use Starburst. So I'm actually not sure about this play from Juan to get Arceus first. I don't hate... There's a Charmander in hand here, so I don't hate Bidoof first here, to be honest. But maybe for the hand here, Juan does have Stadium plus Ultra Ball, which does equal Arceus V-Star. But you do want to play pretty heavily as if Emmy's going to Judge Path you next turn. You want to like be like, okay, that's probably going to happen. But I'm not sure, to be honest. We'll see. If this just gets a Battle VIP pass, it doesn't matter. So that's what Juan's looking for here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so now we go get Bidoof. And then the question is second Charmander versus second Arceus. We'll probably just go with second Mander, though. That seems fine. The Bidoof is the important part. Really, to be honest, if you get second Charmander here, I don't know. You could get second Arceus to give yourself higher odds of getting the Starbirth off if Emmy goes for the boss KO on the Arceus. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting, especially based on Juan's current hand. Second Arceus, I don't hate because it has Ultra Ball plus. Juan's hand does have Ultra Ball plus Stadium Bump. So, like, if you get double Arceus, but if you get double Arceus, Emmy is never boss KO in an Arceus, so that gets interesting as well. If you put two Arceus in play, Emmy is never going to go boss KO one of your two Arceus. Emmy's always going to go for a hand disruption plus, like, the Luxray player KO the Mew, which I think I said, once again, KOing Mew seems like the best thing to KO here, because Mew equals Ultra Ball or Vacuum or something to, like, set up a combo play. Do you ever get second Bib? It's prize. So in this situation, there's no question on whether or not we should go for second Bidoof. I think it's probably not correct to go for second Bidoof, but there's really no question on it because it is prized. We've got some energies left here for one. I think you should definitely attach an energy here, I think. Although it has the Ultra Ball in hand, so maybe it doesn't want to. You have the Stadium, so you have Stadium plus Ultra Ball. So yeah, attaching here makes sense. All right, so now the play for Emmy here, like I said, I think Knockout Mew. I think Mew is literally the most relevant thing to KO here because Mew becomes Ultra Ball becomes B-Barrel, B-Barrel lets you play the game. So I think Emmy just going Judge Path KO Mew is probably the best play here, but we'll see what Emmy ends up going with. Mews are out, and then puts the double turbo on the Luxray, so I don't like that. We'll see what's in the rest of the hand, though. I think I would like to have seen the double turbo just go to the Genesect, because like once I said, I think I put the highest value on KO in here is KO Mew. I think the thing I want to see get KO'd here by the most from Emmy is the Mew, because the Mew, like I said, becomes the Ultra Ball, becomes the Lost Vacuum, whatever. And then also, but Emmy is like tunnel visioning, or maybe not tunnel visioning, maybe realizes the value of KO and Mew, but is going for the Luxray play, so attaches to the Luxray instead. So Emmy wants to attack with Luxray here, but now you need a switch card as well as everything else. So I guess I wouldn't say tunnel visioning, but I guess I would say is very much like I want to do the Luxray play here. I think just KOing Mew plus Judge Path is the better option here, though, from Emmy. I think Emmy should just try and get Judge Path, KO Mew. I think that should be the focus here. But we'll see how much value Luxray actually gets here. So when you see a switch card and what do you see? A switch card and a path here from Emmy. With once again, only two Genesects in play. So the draw power is extremely nerfed here overall from Emmy. It's 100% tunnel visioning. Yeah. I mean, that's especially yeah, it's always something you want to like rethink. Like generally in this matchup, you going with the Luxray attack is probably something you want to do, but making sure you slow down and think about everything else you can do on the turn is always really important. Mew is kind of like taking out a trainer of Juan's hand anyways. Yeah, exactly, Soda. Yeah. But there's the Judge. We don't have the switch card yet. But like I said, if we didn't go for the Luxray play here as Emmy and instead attach the double turbo active, we could just retreat this turn and Max Miracle KO the Mew. We still want Path here as Emmy, but we have to get the Path off these 4 cards. Otherwise, we're just not seeing it because we're out of Genesect draws. Once again, the mistake on the Battle VIP pass not taking the Genesect. Coming back to potentially bite Emmy. Cramomatic. It is ahead, so that is a switch card or a path. Emmy lines up the path here. Actually, it's probably better to I actually don't know. What is better here? Is it better to all right, so let's see if Emmy has both first of all, because Emmy could have the switch card and the path to the peak. Got the path. Oh, does have both. Okay. And the escape rope's interesting here as well, actually, to be honest. The escape rope is also pretty interesting here. Because you could not, the Charmander could potentially get stuck in play. So the way this played out, it seems okay, to be honest. But unfortunately for Emmy, Juan literally has Stadium Replacement plus B-Barrel. Literally. What do you even get rid of here? Gets rid of the Iono. That's probably the best thing to get rid of, right? That's the most draw power. Could have got rid of Lost City, but then you keep the Iono. No, Iono is definitely the best thing to get rid of here. Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately for Emmy, the lock doesn't do anything. And even if Emmy had KO'd the Mew instead, it once again doesn't do anything. Because, yeah, the hand is just too good. The hand is just, like, super good here. There's a Lost City for Juan. Has 2 cards in hand. I don't think should play the boss here, but should attach the mask somewhere. I don't know where you ever put it here, to be honest. Does it ever matter where you put this? You barrel for 3, 4, and there's Candy Charizard. Sheesh. All right. Well, it doesn't KO the Luxray. Sheesh. So, I mean, B-Barrel existing is just such an L. The existence of B-Barrel for this matchup for Emmy is so bad. Because if it's Pidgeot, it's just like, yeah, Pidgeot's so much easier to deal with. The fact that it's a B-Barrel, like, you can't ever path lock it out of the game. Because I was thinking Emmy here could go, well, there's a tablet prize, though. Because Emmy could go 10 more damage to the active Charizard with Luxray for the turn. Because the Luxray actually doesn't die to the Charizard here. The Luxray survives with 10 HP. Actually, the mask active from Quan was maybe bad, because I don't know if Quan plays Choice Spell at all or not. Because if Quan drew into Choice Spell would have killed the Luxray. But I'm not sure if Quan plays it. So yeah, it doesn't actually KO the Luxray, right? So you just hit. Oh, but there's the ball. Oh, we haven't played a supporter yet. Jeez. All right. I forgot about that. I thought the supporter had been played. I was like, okay. So we get to punch a Luxray. We're still in a really good... Even if Juan doesn't have boss here, Juan's in a ridiculously good spot. But then Juan just also has the boss, which I forgot about. So now this game is just over. And he can't KO the Charizard. Has a tablet prize. The one play Emmy possibly could have here... the one play that Emmy possibly could have here would be Luxray the Charizard for 10 more damage. Try and kind of handlock Juan, but the B-Barrel's in place, so it's like almost impossible. And then go quad tablet, Mew VMAX KO Charizard, and then hope that the draw from B-Barrel isn't enough to just win Juan the game after that, like reset up another Charizard. But yeah, at this point, the game is over. I mean, that's why this is like what this matchup comes down to. It's like Emmy needs to handlock or just take aggressive knockouts with Mew, alongside Path Judge, and hope that gives Emmy either just the game because, like, basically Juan's not playing the game, or it just gets Emmy far enough ahead that Emmy can, like, take the hits from the Charizards at the end of the game, and, like, the Charizard comes up KO the first Mew VMAX, and you Psychic Leap the second one back to the deck, deal some damage, and then one hit KO it on the next turn, or just go, like, yeah, because you can't quad tablet KO. Dude, you can't even quad tablet KO a Charizard, which is insane. But you could go, like, get down to 2 prize cards, your first Mew VMAX hits KO, and then you can Psychic Leap back to the deck, and then Psychic Leap back to the deck, and then clean up with the last Mew VMAX or something. But yeah, not happening in this one for Emmy. Was not far enough ahead. There's the Iono. I mean, you just go into the Luxray here as Emmy for a turn because it's not getting KO'd, I guess. I guess you could... No, you could still Psychic Leap here as Emmy, actually, to be honest. Emmy can actually still go for the Psychic Leap play. You Psychic Leap into the Luxray. Yeah, okay. You just do the Psychic Leap play now, actually. You Psychic Leap this turn, go into the Luxray, push that up, and then next turn go for the KO on the next turn, yeah. Okay, so there is still, like, an out, technically, I guess. Knowing that they have B-Barrel and Boss, don't you have to prioritize Lost City to bump Path, especially with no energy on board? I have no idea what you're asking there. I have no clue what you're asking, Gyro Trip. Wait, on Emmy's side? Lost City to bump Path? As Juan? Wait, did Juan not prioritize Lost City? Okay, there's a Psychic Leap. Doesn't make, doesn't mass stop Luxray if you go into Luxray? Don't you have to no, because the Iono sees more cards than possibly the Stadium Bump plus... Because then you're just it's only a draw for 4 off B-Barrel instead of a draw for 4 off B-Barrel into a draw 6 off Iono. So I think you definitely prioritize removing the actually, to be honest, that actually is an interesting point. I don't know. The Iono draw is just so powerful there. Maybe you do prioritize the Lost City bump. I'm actually not sure on that, to be honest. I could see it. Like them seeing like Juan guaranteed seeing plus 6 cards was like pretty bad. So I mean it's like kind of bad both ways. I don't know which one is actually better, to be honest. I probably would have taken... I could see that, to be honest. I could see that. But also, like, Juan Juan doesn't actually need to bump Pat to the peak to win. Juan can just go Candy a Charizard, attach pass, and then next turn go attach attack. Like, there's nothing that's forcing Juan to actually, like, have to get that KO that Juan got on that previous turn. Like, Juan did not need to go boss KO Mew VMAX that turn. Juan just drew well enough to do it. But if Juan had literally just, like, sent up, I don't know, or left the whatever Pokemon, the Charmander active, attach a bench Charmander, Candy into Charizard off of an Iono, and then went pass, and the next turn goes attach, switch card, and then just takes the knockout then, like, that's fine, you know? So I'm not sure. I do see the value in getting rid of the Lost City, though. I see what you're saying. There's definitely value in getting rid of the Lost City over the Iono, but just the raw draw 6. If Juan just plays the game, I feel like, I don't know, it's so tough. Like, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because, yeah, there's nothing forcing Juan to be aggressive. It's like, oh, you did 10 damage with Luxray that turn and have 6 prize cards. All right, Candy into my Zard, attach and pass. I don't even need to bump the Pat to the peak. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if it makes a difference. Yeah. His hand was unreal. Yeah, definitely had, like, yeah, the draw was just, like, so good. But you see, this is what I'm saying. Like, this Charizard, Juan does not care if the ability gets used at all or not. It's just like, nope, that's fine. We just got another Charizard online. It only has 1 energy, but who cares? Like, this is fine. You know, like, and that's what would have happened, like, off the other draw. So yeah, I don't know, one way or the other, to be honest. I'm not sure. It was just such a good draw off the judge. It's, like, hard to, like, come up with the ideal play there for Juan. It's like, but yeah, I see the value of the other one for sure. The idea of running the Luxray. The Luxray attempts to handlock your opponent. So you judge Pat them, and then Luxray discards a trainer out of their hand. So if you discard, like, their only draw supporter and they're under Judge Path, they could just be screwed and lose the game. So I don't know if Emmy's going to actually be able to get the KO here. That was the goal here for Emmy. And even if Emmy does get the KO here with a Mew VMAX, there's another Charizard on the bench that is only an energy away from winning the game. There's the B-Barrel in play. Juan has a Iono in hand as well. Like, it's just... this is probably the end of it here, to be honest. We could probably just skip ahead in this one and close this first game out here. Oh, there's a boss B-Barrel play, though. All right, hold up. Well, how does this... I don't think this ever wins the game. I'm sure Juan has switch cards left. Maybe not, though. There was the Iono discard from Emmy. All right, we'll see what happens here. 1, 2, 3 off the B-Barrel. Has an energy, has a boss, has a Lost City. Starbirth is available here, though. So, dude, you know what? It's actually crazy. Like, looking at this game, I was like, I'm about to say, it's possible that Juan forgets that he's got Starbirth here. The amount of times I have forgotten this playing Arceus decks is really high. When you get to, like, turn 4 in the game, and you weren't able to use Starbirth because you pathed yourself or your opponents have been pathing you, and then you get to, like, turn 4, and you're just like, all right, well, I didn't draw everything I needed. And then I just, like, forget that I could just, like, you know, use Starbirth because there's no path in play at this point is, like, actually very high. I don't actually know if Juan actually plays a way to move the B-Barrel either. I don't know if Juan plays switch cards, to be honest. Oh, I guess Juan can't win this turn anyways because Emmy doesn't have a Mew VMAX in play. But I guess, yeah, the question would just be, how do you want to move your B-Barrel? Because you could just attach active pass. There is an escape rope in the deck. Yeah, but I guess Juan doesn't actually win this turn anyways. But Juan could go escape rope plus attach to B-Barrel, and then everything can retreat or attack on the next turn. But yeah, I've forgotten about Arceus' V-Star power so many times. The later the game goes, the more likely it is that I forget about it. And it looks like that is what Juan's going to go for here, is escape rope and just attack. You don't actually have to attack this turn as Juan either. Juan could just go attach active pass, and that would actually have been 100% fine. And then just, like, retreat next turn, attack with the Charizard. But being more aggressive is, like, also fine. Like, there's no problem with this either. There's not really a bad play here. I guess the one thing, though, is, like, when Juan plays the escape rope here, Emmy could send up a Genesect here. And actually, Genesect does not get KO'd by Charizard right now. Emmy does send up the... yeah, no prize cards taken. And Emmy realized it, sends up the Genesect. Now, did Juan... Oh, Juan does have a choice belt on this Arceus, though. So the energy attachment for turn now goes to the Arceus. I guess this means the B-Barrel could get bossed again. But once again, Juan has plenty of energy left to, like, attach and retreat the B-Barrel, so... Oh, we're not done yet, though. There's a research coming still. And Juan might also have another switch card as well, so... All right, there's the knockout. Shuffles the deck. Going down to 1 prize card here. They plenty of energy to retreat everything. Might even have another switch card. Do like any... They're going to bring back the Northeast event or Salt Lake City. They might. All right, we got the Colorless Lug Mirror, though, here. Kerr with the... Yeah, Curve. I don't know what the differences are in the list, to be honest. I know Alexander plays Great Ball, Optimal, and Kerr plays Nest Ball. Alexander also plays the Luxray. I'm not sure if Kerr plays the Luxray or not. Honestly, mirror matches in general in Pokemon are like pretty pretty much a crapshoot most of the time, it feels like. It depends on the mirror match. Something like this mirror match is usually kind of a crapshoot. The Weird Ear being prized for Kerr is not great, though, because like, you don't have that as an aggressive option. Sometimes you want to use it later in the game, but usually when you want to use the Weird Ear, it's like to KO the first Lugia sometimes, just to get the aggressive 2 prize cards or something like that. Because like I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, you don't want to give them Luxray, and then you just set up a bunch of Snorlaxes. 3/3 Lugia VV Star is the way to go. It can... So if you just set up only Lugias, the problem with setting up only Lugias is it can get 1-hit KO by a Weird Ear at the end of the game. Or one of them can get 1-hit KO by a Luxray. So Alexander playing the Luxray makes things weird for Kerr. I think Alexander plays the Luxray. I'm almost positive Alexander plays the Luxray. I played against him in top 8, and I forget... I'm pretty sure he Ultra Balled for it at some point just to thin out the deck. But I don't think his list has been posted anywhere, so I don't have access to the list. I think I might have access to Kerr's list, though, actually. Let me just pull up Kerr's list. Give me 1 second. I think Kerr's list is out there. Let me see. Yeah, I have Kerr's list. I don't have Alexander's list. Kerr has the Weird Ear, like we saw, Radiant Charizard, Triple Snorlax, no Luxray, and yeah, it's playing the Nest Balls, like I said. And obviously, in the mirror, going first is really important. Does have the 4 boss. The 4 boss can be big in the mirror as well. Actually, to be honest, a way you could Kerr play Zard no Lux, yeah. A way you could tackle the mirror match, to be honest, could be to... A way you can actually tackle the mirror, which seems interesting, is you could just boss up both Archeops and then go into Weird Ear. Now, the problem with that is your opponent can respond to the Weird Ear with Radiant Charizard. Huh, that'd be interesting, though. Because otherwise, all they have set up at that point is Snorlaxes, and once you start to trade Snorlax for Snorlax, you'll end up with more energy in play, and they won't be able to respond to your Weird Ear with their own Weird Ear, because they won't have enough energy in play to respond to your Weird Ear with their Weird Ear. And then you can... But then the Charizard would be an answer to that at that point. But they would have to find the energy for the Charizard if it's already set up. So Weird Ear start for Alexander is, oh my gosh. Not only is opening Weird Ear bad, opening any kind of 2 prizer in the mirror besides a Lugia is bad, but also only has attached to Weird Ear Pass. But we'll see what Kerr has in response. Has the Lugia, has the Jet as well. So can Jet this up to the active to get off a Read the Wind, because I don't think there's any Archeops in the hand here for Kerr. And Kerr did prize 2 Archeops, which is actually pretty bad. Prizing two Archeops is not good, because like you need to find them, get them in the discard pile, so on and so forth. Goes immediately for another Snorlax. Makes sense. So yeah, like I said, you don't want too many Lugias, especially if you know your opponent plays Luxray. The first Lugia is fine, of course, because you need to set up. And putting 2 in play if your first Lugia is being threatened of getting KO'd is also fine. But at some point, the second Lugia can just be 1-hit KO by a Luxray or the Weird Ear, which you don't want to give your opponent that. Oh, I guess you can respond to... No, how do you... Yeah, you can't respond to the Weird Ear. Yeah, never mind. Then I think Mew is basically irrelevant in the mirror match, right? Or is it? I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I like the Jet up here because you want to be able to use the Read the Wind. I would say... Oh, triple research in hand. Very good. I would say maybe you'd want to go Therapy active instead as Kerr, but what the research here is not getting rid of any Archeops. So you really need to get these Archeops in the discard pile as Kerr. So I like the Jet up for the Read the Wind. If not, leaving the Snorlax in the active probably would have been better, because a hit from a Weird Ear onto a Lugia can actually set up for like a 2-hit KO theoretically, whereas your Snorlax getting punched by a Weird Ear for not a KO doesn't set up for anything. So, was that 60, 60, 120? Yeah, for 2 double turbos, it's only even, was it 120 damage, so, yeah. Yep, there goes the Read the Wind. I'm curious to see what the rest of the hand was, but obviously I can't see it. All right, over to Alexander. Eyeing up the Iono, goes for it. I think the rest of the hand was like Stadiums and something else. We do have the Chops in the discard pile now for Kerr. At least 1. Not 2, though. That's why I was curious if Kerr had an Ultra Ball. Because if Kerr had an Ultra Ball there, Kerr should definitely Ultra Ball away Archeops. Got Archeops. Read the Wind away the Archeops. But I just assuming there's not an Ultra Ball in there. Okay, all right, so we finally see the Lugia here for Alexander. And some Snorlax. A couple Lax. 2 Lax. Also has Illuminating for next turn, which is not great, but it's okay. And this does bench 1 Snorlax. Yeah, I like the idea of not benching the other one yet, because you don't actually exactly know what Kerr's going to do next turn. You don't really need 2 Snorlax down. So I like benching 1 if you get Iono. You'd rather have that in play. Over to Kerr. Does have an Ultra Ball, and I believe that's a Chops in hand. So yeah, so we have the play here from Kerr. So Kerr can just go Lugia 1-hit KO Weird Ear, which puts Kerr in a... Oh, wait. That's fine. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. The only other thing Kerr could have done there... No, it's like the same thing. No, that's fine. Oh, has the boss? Jeez. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't even think about that play, to be honest. But yeah, this is actually just broken. As long as Kerr doesn't take a double turbo off of the... That'd be the only, like, bad thing to do here. So we just grab V-Guard plus something, probably. Yep, V-Guard Jet, and then probably grab a Therapy and a double turbo to put on a bench Snorlax. I think. I would definitely use the second Archeops here as Kerr. There's no reason not to. You might as well. You have so much energy left. You just want to thin out the deck and draw into other stuff. Yeah, so I don't like that from Kerr. It's not like a huge, like, understood the what was the best game plan here. Boss KO the Lugia. Yeah, literally just had everything. Jeez. All right, back over to Alexander once again. And, like, this is a situation where, to be honest, even if Alexander could have benched another Lugia, I don't know if I guess you probably do. I mean, this would feel so bad. I guess you probably do, though. Sheesh. All right. So this game is basically over at this point. Actually, I wouldn't blame Alexander for just conceding and going to the next game at this point, to be honest. Like, you're so far behind at this point. There is, like, potential for a comeback, but it's not good. I wouldn't hate to see Alexander concede here. Does have the Luxray still for the comeback and stuff, but you're going to be down 3 prize cards at least here as Alexander. And if Kerr sees, like, another boss, and Kerr's just going to go boss KO your Weird Ear. And then Kerr will have 2 prize cards left with 2 Snorlaxes on the bench. Sure, there's Lumineon on Kerr's bench, but still so far from there. And we see Alexander actually goes for the Iono. There's just Archeops in hand, though. I don't like the idea of a research, but goes for the Iono. Maybe just trying to increase the odds of Kerr not having that boss, which I guess is okay. It's all right. I don't know. There's the boss in the hand there for Kerr, though. Kerr draws into the boss. Love to see it. And now we still have no Archeops in the discard pile, I believe, here for Alexander. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I would just like to have seen a research there from Alexander. Just throw the research out there. Get an Archeops in the discard pile. Increase your odds of finding the Lugia. Yeah, just do that. Try and set up a little bit more. Once again, I actually don't hate the idea of Alexander just conceding here and saving time for game 2 and 3. Because what is Alexander at? You're at 33 points, right? So Alexander just needs to win in the next 2 rounds. I guess at 2 ties is also 35, though. So that would also be fine. All right. There's a pass. I believe Kerr could even go. Oh, wait, no, but there's a V-Guard on this one now. So you can't boss this Lugia. Collapse, get rid of Luminian's insane. There's a boss in hand, right? I'm not trolling. All right, cool. Ultra Ball away the Burnett and the Lugia there to grab a Luminian. Can't play it, but that's fine. So we should just see Kerr go boss Weird Ear here. Load up some energy on these Snorlax as well. It's actually going to start tilting me if Kerr does not put some energy in play here. You just don't want... Basically, you just don't want the energy in your deck anymore. Okay, yeah. There's the boss on the Weird Ear. The Weird Ear will go down. Can we thin out some energy, please? Like, we don't need all this energy in our deck, do we? All right. 2 prize cards left for Kerr. There's a Luminian in play. Honestly, I think Kerr... I don't know. It's hard to call it a mistake for sure. Kerr could have just left the Collapse in play, and that guarantees this Luminian would be in play next turn. So the one reason that Kerr might want to bunch... so the one reason to bump the Collapse as Kerr here is, okay, now you open up bench space for your own Luminian to go boss KO Alexander's Luminian. But now that you bump the Collapse Stadium, now Alexander can go collapse away my own Luminian. So honestly here, as Kerr, I think you probably should just left the Collapse in play. Because if something on your board gets KO'd, you have bench space for Luminian. If something doesn't get KO'd on your board, you just win the game anyways because none of your stuff got KO'd and you're up 4 prize cards. So... yeah, honestly, from Kerr here, I would like to have seen the Collapse stick in play. It also stops Alexander from being able to go Luminian plus double Archeops or double Archeops plus another attack or something like that. Yeah, but then once again, also, I would like to have seen Kerr actually load up energy on the bench Snorlaxes because there's just like no reason not to, I feel like. Gift attachment there from Alexander. And then Iono for 6. I don't love the attachment here because if Alexander draws into like research plus a bunch of energy, you want to be able to attach the energy out of that hand, not the energy before you Iono. You could just throw the gift to the bottom of the deck. But like if Alexander draws here like research plus 2 or 3 energy, you want to be able to move those energy out of your hand as you progress. We did get the V-Star here for Alexander. And there's the concede finally. Okay. So I'd like to see it eventually happen. That's nice to see. Didn't lose there for sure if you evolve, but you do eventually see the concede. And that's like another thing with Kerr on Kerr's side as well. Like Kerr could have thinned the energy out of the deck. Could have thinned the energy out of the deck, so when these Ionos are coming through from Alexander, there's less chance that you draw into just energy, which does nothing for you, and then increases your odds of drawing into other stuff if you were to get KO'd and the gift energy does trigger. So 2 Archeops prized here for Alexander. Not good. Like I said, it was not good for Kerr before. Both of them prized their Mew. Triple energy prize for Alexander as well. And on Kerr's side, The Research, the Ultra Ball, the Mezagos are all good. Kerr does play triple Snorlax, so the third Snorlax being prize is kind of whatever. I think they both play triple Snorlax, so the Snorlax being prize is kind of whatever. So definitely worse prize cards, I would say, overall for Alexander. But like the Research and the Ultra Ball as well are also like not great prize cards to prize, because like that's how you like set up and get to the point where you can actually, you know, get your double Archeops in the discard pile as well. But like the energy and the double Archeops are definitely more important here on Alexander's side. So slightly worse prize cards for Alexander, but is going first. But also Open Luminion, which is not good as well. So we will see a turn 1 Lugia this time, at the very least, though. We appreciate the 3-month resub there, Lamer. What's the interaction between a Alolan Vulpix V-Star and Toedscruel EX? Should Toedscruel EX hit through Vulpix? I'd have to read both cards, but I'm pretty sure the answer is no. All right, we do see the attach to the Lugia Impasse. No Archeops in the discard pile, not great. Tails from Kerr, though, so no Archeops to be found. Probably going to grab a Snorlax. Yep, there it is. And does have access to Read the Wind, because it's going second. Heads this time. We'll see if it's an Archeops. Actually, to be honest, I don't know about the Snorlax grab here from Kerr, because you do need another... Well, so this is one of the situations where I'd grab another Lugia V. Another Aroma coming in. So I think could grab Lugia V-Star here and then Ultra Ball away 2 Archeops and then not play the Research in hand. Yeah, so Kerr doesn't have to play this Research. The Research seems fine, though. I'm not against it. Kerr could also try and get into a double Turbo or a Jet to move the Lugia out of the active, but is going to settle for leaving the Lugia in the active here. But yeah, this third Capture Aroma could have been a Lugia V-Star and then Ultra Ball for Lugia V, and then you just hold the Research plus Lugia V-Star in hand. I'm also just like, I think it's fine for Kerr to just go ahead and play the Research as well. Get more options for the next turn. Like, you get the option of like a Boss's Orders or something, which is probably just better. And then we'll also get to use Read the Wind. Also gets the V-Guard on the active Lugia V, which is actually a really big deal, because this stops the Lugia V-Star knockout from Alexander. So that's the V-Guard here is actually a pretty big deal. Yeah, like, Kerr's almost like drawing perfectly here, besides going second, I guess. If Kerr could just like do all this stuff going first. I mean, if Kerr, the only thing that could have been better here is that Kerr went first and basically drew the exact same thing. Think about reading away the Collapse. I don't like that at all here from Kerr. Because the Collapse is your way to get rid of this other Lugia V in play. You don't really want this other Lugia V to exist. So I don't love that Collapse discard there. There had to be something better to have gotten rid of there besides that than Kerr. I don't like that. Because the Collapse is how you like are able to like put Luminion in play, collapse it away, or collapse away the second Lugia V when it becomes like a big liability. So I'm not a big fan of that from Kerr there. There had to have been something better to have gotten rid of there. As it goes, there's a Tails. Still no Archeops in the discard pile here for Alexander. Does have the V-Star in hand. And then definitely needs to try and get another V in play here at some point as well. Has a Jet, so is maybe thinking about jetting to the active to use Read the Wind. That's so slow, though. And I think if you whiff... Yeah, I think Alexander should probably attach to the Luminion and then plan to retreat this into like a 1 prize for this turn. If I don't know. That's tough. Do you like play for the... You play for the attack here as Alexander? You don't really want to attack with Lugia V into Lugia V, though, do you? What does that trade-off look like? I guess it's, like, fine, right? That would be, like, fine. Sheesh, I'm actually not sure here as Alexander, to be honest. Like, you only hit it for 190. That's, like... Sheesh, how do you play this? Do you hit this thing with a Lugia V-Star? It's, like, not that bad, though, right? Because if Charlie goes into the Weird Ear, you're fine with Charlie using their Weird Ear immediately, right? Maybe? Maybe you do just jet up to the active, to be honest. I don't hate it. You could also just, like, evolve and Iono and see what you get. No, you probably jet it up, to be honest. Jetting up. You should probably evolve it, though. I think leaving this in the active is not good. You don't want to leave this Lugia V in the active as a Lugia V just to die to a Lugia V-Star, because then you just lose the prize trade from there pretty much 100% of the time. Although maybe not because the Collapse is gone. But as long as Charlie keeps their bench full, that means if Alexander ever uses Collapse to get rid of the Luminion, then Charlie can always get rid of the Lugia V as well. So it's like, it's hard for Alexander to ever like collapse away the Luminion at that point. So I think you should just Alexander, honestly, I think should just evolve here and hope to hit the freaking Ultra Ball double Archeops, which is gonna be like impossible because Alexander prized 2 Archeops. Jeez, that just sucks. But I think this is the correct play here from Alexander. I think you have to hope to get like, I guess like a little bit lucky. The other thing that could happen here is Alexander could just retreat this Lugia to like a Snorlax or some kind of 1 prizer this turn. If he does whiff, and he did whiff, so. But there's no 1 prizer. Aroma. Heads. Okay. We get an Archeops. Does have Burnett in hand for the next turn, finally. So you should probably still just grab an Archeops just in case. No, actually, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Is looking at the Luxray, though. I don't know if I like the... No, I think I do like the Luxray grab here from Alexander, because next turn you're going to Burnett. Yeah, next turn as Alexander, you're going to Burnett. Get rid of the two Archeops in the deck. And then by that point, Charlie should have drawn the first prize card. Then you can make Luxray a reality. And this is where like benching that second Lugia could come back to, or not benching the second Lugia. Actually, I guess there was always the threat of the Weird Air on the active. So you always have to bench a second Lugia as Charlie. Getting rid of the Collapse Stadium could backfire. That's what could backfire. Because now it might be really hard for Charlie to get rid of the second Lugia. And then maybe Alexander will be able to take advantage of that later. We'll see. And yeah, there's the pass. Can the Weird Air knock this thing out? How much energy do you need? We can get what? 4 double turbos in play, plus a jet. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 400 minus what? 80? 320? Yeah, that would KO it. So Kerr can win this turn. Yeah, Kerr can win this turn, actually. That's actually kind of crazy. Jeez. Yep, there's the Weird Air. It, like, actually is possible. That's wild. But you need all 4, right? Oh, no, wait. What'd I say? 320? Minus 1, 280. 280 still works. You can just do 3 double turbos, right? Yeah, that's crazy. What the heck? What is the hand here for Kerr? I think it was possible in the hand, right? But I guess if you draw into, you're just carding a double turbo. So if you draw into any other double turbos, it kind of backfires. I actually don't like this gift attach here from Kerr, though. I think you should attach a double turbo active here, because it's just like is more energy value. Oh wait, you only need 2 DTEs. Was it 60 per DTE? 40 plus 1. Yeah. So you would have been able to get there. 320 cap. Yeah. So minus 1. But I don't like the discard double turbo. Even if like Charlie at this point is not going for the 1-hit KO on the active here. But I think you should still attach a double turbo active here. I think so anyways. Makes sense to me. There's the V-Star. But yeah, no potential for the no potential for the 1-hit KO anymore. Unless I'm trolling. There's still 3... No, you can't do it, right? Wait, am I trolling? No. But yeah, I don't like this either from Charlie, I don't think. The double... I mean, saving your double turbos for your Weird Air, but you can always get your double turbos to your Weird Air whenever you want. I feel like there should be a double turbo on this Lugia. The only reason I can think of Charlie doing this is for the threat of boss KOing one of... like, if Alexander benches another Lugia V next turn. That's the only thing that this thing ever does, I feel like. The only reason to bench, to do this, instead of a double turbo here, is like, oh, if Alexander benches another Lugia V. But Alexander should never bench another Lugia V. So I don't like this energy attachment here from Kerr. I feel like Kerr should have... The double turbo should just be here. Also, I would like to see this second Archeops probably get used to load up at least 1 energy on something on the bench. Just get an extra energy in play. I don't really love the idea of just like playing off the board every single turn. But yeah, there's the first hit from Charlie. We finally have a play here for... Alexander has the Burnett. Get rid of double Archeops, or get double Archeops into the discard pile. Can Luxray next turn as well, and then also has an Ultra Ball to like find a Snorlax or something. So I feel like Alexander has to attack with Lugia, the active Lugia this turn. I feel like that has to be the play here from Alexander. I don't see like what else would Alexander ever even attack with here? It feels terrible to like just punch the active Lugia here as Alexander, but you could Ultra Ball for a Snorlax, I guess. Ugh. You could, and then make Charlie work for the prize cards off the Lugia. I guess that would be something. It's actually even giving up a collapse, so that Lugia, the Luminian, is much more likely to just be sitting in play for Charlie to take advantage of it. Oh wait, can we get the Weird Air 1-hit KO? Does that even make sense to go? What is like the math on like your energy at that point? I guess it doesn't take that much energy, right? Goes for the Snorlax, though. Goes for the Snorlax. We could have got the Weird Air KO, though, right? Because it would have been... Dude, why do I suck at doing the math in my head real fast? 4 DTEs. Wait, Weird Air is just for itself, right? It's not for energy on your opponent's active as well, is it? It's just for the energy on the Weird Air. So it's 60 per double turbo, so 4 double turbos plus another energy is 280. Oh, but there's the V-Guard here, so we would have needed 1 more, actually. So it would have been 1 short there. We would have needed like a jet energy. So we would have been 1 short because of the V-Guard energy. So the V-Guard's actually pretty relevant in the mirror, I guess, to stop like the early weird. But with the Weird Air, that would be like a lot of energy for Alexander to lose, right? Then what do you even attack with that at that point? Charlie responds with Weird Air, and then Alexander can't KO the Weird Air back. Or even if you do with Lugia, then the Lugia dies to a Snorlax and you're just out of energy, right? There's just no way that's correct, right? Yeah, Alexander's already also down a couple energy. But is going for this Snorlax knockout. Oh, I guess the math on the active was incorrect. It should be 220, but I guess it was 200. All right, second Archeops getting used here. I don't even know what energy this is grabbing, to be honest. Maybe you set up a pivot on like the Archeops. I don't know. Put a gift energy on the Luminion so you draw some cards. Put a double turbo active so you keep the gift on the Lugia. But then the Lugia just is more expensive of energy. It goes for the gift on the Archeops. I don't know if I like the gift on the Archeops. The gift on the Luminion makes a little bit more sense because I feel like your Luminion is more likely to be boss KO'd. Unless Charlie's going to go boss KO Archeops, boss KO Archeops. Which, to be honest, I kind of like the idea of boss KO Archeops from Charlie at this point. Because there's about to be 2 energy to retreat this thing to the Snorlax. If Charlie just has boss KO the Archeops without the energy here, that's pretty good. But if Charlie has boss KO anything here, that's not the Snorlax, that's also pretty good. Oh, wait, we're just attacking with the active here as Alexander. Okay, I like this more. I like this attack more from Alexander. Conserving the energy in play, I like a lot more. I thought Alexander was going to retreat. It looked like Alexander was going to go for it, too. When Alexander did this right here. Like, Alexander reached for the energy on the Lugia. So I thought Alexander was definitely going to retreat. I think it was like right here. So you go 2 to the Snorlax. And then it looked like Alexander was getting ready to retreat, and it was like, nah, actually. Oh, no, maybe just checking how many energy was on it to make sure it can attack. I don't know. But for a second there, I thought Alexander was definitely going to retreat because the way he reached for the energy. But instead, go for the attack with Lugia, which I think this is better because otherwise you just like, the threat of the boss count on the Archeops, I feel like is too high. You're still in a bad spot here as Alexander, though. Like, it's not a good spot. But there's a lot of 2 prizes in play for Charlie. Yeah, so, I mean, so Alexander gets this punch, and then if Kerr goes knock out your active, but Kerr should just go into pivot into Snorlaxes here, right, and make Charlie have to work as hard as possible with the bosses. So the jet energy to the Snorlax here from Kerr seems best. Just ramp the Snorlax, take the knockout on the Lugia. Because right now, Alexander theoretically could go knockout, boss knockout, right? Like, that's possible here. So I don't think you want to give that. I don't think Kerr should give that over to Alexander. So I'd like to see Kerr jet the Snorlax up and swing with the Snorlax and KO this, I feel like. But instead attaches the gift to the bench Lugia. So I think Kerr is going to attack with this Lugia. Or attack with the active Lugia here. Could have jetted up, though. Could have jetted up and actually attacked with the bench. The Snorlax off the bench. Instead goes for an Aroma on the, or the Therapy Energy. So is attacking with the active here. Pretty much guaranteed, I feel like. Yep, there it is. Attack with the active. KO the other Lugia. I don't know. I feel like you want to make Alex work a little bit harder here. I feel like you want to make Alexander work a little bit harder. Yeah, I don't know. All right, there's the gift draw for Alex. What is the play here from Alex now, though? Do you just KO the active? Could boss KO the bench Lugia with Luxray? I don't hate that. Boss KO the bench Lugia with Luxray? This is like the time to use Luxray, right? So boss KO the bench Lugia with Luxray. You could KO the active with Luxray as well, but boss KO the bench one seems better. And then look for boss. Like, you could just triple boss here as Alexander to win this game. Sends up the Snorlax immediately, though. So I feel like Snorlax KO the active is the play here. I guess Alexander could do it next turn, though. But do you even want to put Luxray in play here this turn as Alexander, or is that just going to get boss KO'd? I don't know. Then you're not playing that research. You do have the boss in hand here for Alexander as well. It's there. The boss is in the hand. Dude, I have not played enough of this mirror match. This is like hurting my head to think about. Is looking at the Weird Deer. If we take the Weird Deer, I don't think we're benching the Weird Deer as Alexander. But that means we're also not playing the research this turn as well. We're just holding the Weird Deer because we got Tails on Capture Run. We plan to hold the hand anyway. So you may as well stockpile it with options. Would be the thought process here then. Yeah, but maybe he wants to hold on to the Luxray for a turn. So right now, Alex can go Snorlax, KO Lugia. And then Kerr goes something KO Snorlax. Then Alex goes Luxray, boss Lugia, KO Lugia. And then from there, I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, so once again, like, too many 2 prizes in play on Charlie's side, I feel like. Charlie should try to avoid putting the 2 prizes in play. Or like I said, hold on to that collapsed stadium so you can remove some 2 prizes from play eventually. I think just benching this Lugia in general from Charlie was... No, it was fine to bench it, but shouldn't have got rid of the collapse. That's right. We had to bench it as Charlie on that turn. We had to bench the Lugia. All right. First knockout for Alexander. Gets a jet out of the prize cards, which could be cool. Blacks send up immediately from Charlie. There's the second Lugia. But the second Lugia is a liability. But I don't know if Charlie knows about the Luxray. I don't think Alexander showed the Luxray last game. So it's possible. It's very possible that Charlie just doesn't know about the Luxray, to be honest. It's possible. And we see there's a ton of energy. This is like, I think Charlie has top deck energy the last couple turns. But this is why you want to get as many energy out of the deck as possible comfortably. You don't want to like overextend your energy. But you just want to like get them out of as many out of the deck as possible just so you're not top decking them. On top deck other things. There's a Nest Ball, so it could go for the Radiant Charizard or another Snorlax. I would assume those would be one of the 2 things to grab. Actually, the Radiant Charizard I think is prized, right? Show the Luxray with Ultra Ball. Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Luxray is literally in the hand. That is true. That's probably why. Then actually, I really don't like this second energy attachment here from Charlie. Then putting a second gift energy on this Lugia specifically doesn't make any sense. Then I feel like, I think so. He should have saw it. All right. Well, if Charlie knows about the Luxray, then attaching to this to the Lugia here makes no sense because this is like what Alexander's going after is this Lugia. So Alexander's price trade at this point is Boss KO Lugia, Boss KO Weirdeer. And because Charlie is down to collapse, it's possible Charlie won't be able to actually stop that from happening. Yeah, so here comes the Boss KO on the Luxray, or on the Lugia. Alexander does have the boss in hand. So the extra energy on the Lugia there is definitely, like this extra Lugia energy on the Lugia here, if Charlie knew about the Luxray, is definitely a huge mistake. I also just don't like this extra gift energy on this Lugia to begin with, to be honest. It probably should be split between the Weirdeer and the Lugia or something. I don't know. It just shouldn't be where it is. It being where it is just not very good. Oh my gosh, we're attacking these two prizes from all angles. But yeah, Luxray KO, Lugia here. I think Alexander should maybe even go out of the way. Benches a Lugia V. Charlie does have 3 prize cards left. So this allows Alexander to potentially knock out the Weirdeer with Lugia V or with the Weirdeer. But I think Alexander probably doesn't. Actually, Alexander could maybe even bench. Right here, Alexander could maybe even bench his own Weirdeer. Because as long as you have like the V-Star in hand. Yeah, I don't hate the idea of benching the Weirdeer here. But it looks like Alexander's going to load up the Lugia V. I don't hate the idea of a gift energy on the Luxray either, but I don't know if Alexander's going to be able to do that. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a gift energy to put on the Luxray here. Because Charlie could go Iono plus KO Luxray, and then that is going to make it a lot harder to get the boss KO on the Weirdeer. Yeah, there's the boss. But if Alexander has the Lugia combo to kill Weirdeer next turn through Lugia, then I don't hate the idea of Alexander benching Weirdeer here. Because then I guess like the one thing would be, can Charlie... Charlie can't boss KO your Weirdeer unless it's with his Weirdeer. It could be with Radiant Charizard, though. I guess maybe... Alexander might not know if Charlie plays Radiant Charizard or not. Then you could go boss up Weirdeer, Radiant Charizard, knockout. But if Alexander, and then collapse away the Weirdeer would be the play, I guess, that Alexander could be playing around here. Because like if Charlie has Radiant Charizard, boss KO, Weirdeer, if Alexander benches Weirdeer, and then collapses away the Weirdeer, then Charlie just wins the game basically at that point. Okay. But I guess then there's no gift energy on the Charizard, which means then Alexander could go KO with Lugia V-Star plus Iono and hope that Charlie whiffs. Sheesh. All right, there's a Luxray knockout. So the price trade here for Kerr, you have to get rid of this Weirdeer, but you also want a Boss Illuminion. But if you can just get collapsed, if you can just put down I think Kerr has the Charizard left. If Kerr has Charizard plus collapse away Weirdeer, then you just win with knockout active boss KO Luminion here. We'll see what Kerr has though. The hand has a lot of energy in it. That's what the hand has. A lot of energy. And an Iono and a boss. But you really got to get rid of your own Weirdeer here as Kerr. That has to be your focus. And no other non-2 prize Pokemon. Only has an Iono to dig deeper. And had the Mesagoza in hand as well, but doesn't really want to put that in play, obviously. And this is what I was talking about with Alexander. If we could have got a gift on this Luxray, that would have been pretty good. I don't know if it was possible, because this play right here, Kerr going, okay, Iono knockout, is like pretty good here. So once again, though, Charlie is just like not putting energy in play. I don't know if there was any left in the deck, to be honest. There was a lot of energy in the hand there for Charlie. Charlie needs to be putting more energy in play, though. The amount of energy that Charlie's putting in play turn to turn with the Archeops is just like, there could definitely be more in play here, which increases our odds of not top decking them, not drawing into them when we play the Iono. I don't know if there was maybe a reason that Kerr was not choosing to shuffle the deck there, though, based on a previous Iono. That's possible. I don't think so, though. So I definitely want to see Kerr be more aggressive with the Archeops uses here. The way you can basically think about it is like, okay, if you have this Snorlax in the active with a double turbo and a therapy energy, if your opponent KOs that, you lose 3 energy. Now, if you put a double turbo and another energy on your bench Snorlax, oh, my opponent could boss KO this Snorlax, but this Snorlax is equal to this Snorlax, so if both Snorlaxes have the same amount of energy, you're not creating a new liability. You're just creating a duplicate of a liability. So that means it's usually almost 100% safe to create the exact same thing you have in play as a liability as another liability, because why would Alexander ever waste a boss KO your bench Snorlax with 3 energy when your active Snorlax has 3 energy? Unless there's like some different types of energy on one over the other. But if you can basically nullify that by putting the energy in play on the bench Snorlax that's basically equal to the active Snorlax, then it's kind of like the same thing. So I think Kerr definitely should have been more aggressive with the Archaeopsises at the very least. There's just like so much energy in the deck now. We don't want this energy in the deck. Finally seeing Kirby a little bit more aggressive though, putting 2 on the bench Snorlax there. Also, the active Snorlax I guess can't currently KO Luminium, but you have Weird Ear in play. But if Alexander has Boss, actually that's not true. Alexander currently doesn't have a Pokemon in play that can KO the Weird Ear. So even if Alexander has Boss, the Boss KO the Weird Ear, it doesn't actually do anything. That's why, like I mentioned, I think Alexander should have put his own Weird Ear in play. Because if Kerr had Collapse Stadium on the last turn, Kerr probably would have played it to play around Iono. Well, maybe not, because you don't care if your active gets KO'd there. If Kerr had the Collapse Stadium on the last turn, I feel like Kerr would have played it. But maybe you didn't want to remove your own Iono as Kerr there, actually. And maybe would have been waiting for this turn. So maybe it was fair for Alexander to be like, you could have Collapse Stadium still in the hand there. I'm not sure. All right, 2 prize cards left for Kerr. The Luminion is still in play for Alexander. So is the Lugia. But we are starting to run out of energy here for both players. Both players have been through a decent amount of energy now. So it is possible that Kerr can't put together the Weird Ear knockout. I think there is enough double turbos left to KO the Lugia off the bench. It does have the V-Guard as well. The hand here for Alexander sucks. It's a Nest Ball and a double turbo energy. And I was thinking about setting up the... gonna go with the Lugia send up. So it does actually have the Nest Ball, which can become the Weird Ear. There's a Snorlax top deck. So you can Snorlax the Snorlax. Definitely can't leave the Lugia in the active. If it was a V-Star, maybe. I don't know how much energy Kerr has left versus how many are in play, but I think it's just going to be a Snorlax attack here from Alexander, into hoping to find a boss KO on a Archeops next turn around the Weird Ear will be the play here from Alexander. I don't even know if that's what I was going to... Oh, we can get Mew, though. Hold up. Mew's left. Think about Mew versus Weird Ear. I don't think you ever go with Weird Ear here as Alexander. The Mew sounds kind of cool, though. But do we ever draw into the play to win the game? We could. Now it's going to go back to the Snorlax. Oh, wait, what is the last card in hand, though? Well, we want an attacker this turn, so going for the Snorlax actually does make more sense. All right, the Mew was like kind of cool for a second, but actually the Mew doesn't ever make any sense. I take it back. Oh, wait, we had another Snorlax in hand. Maybe the Mew does make sense, though, actually. All right, actually, I think I do like the Mew from Alexander. Because the Mew could get us to the boss. Because right now, Alexander doesn't have a way to KO a Weird Ear, nor does Alexander have a gift energy on the Snorlax. So Alexander's only seen the top deck plus a prize card. Now, I don't remember what the prize cards are, but the prize cards could be really good. I also like it from Alexander as well. If we feel like we can take more energy out of the deck, we should 100% take more energy out of the deck. It does go for 1 more jet out of the deck. Now, I don't know if this is correct or incorrect, but I think definitely both players have been playing really conservative with putting... No, Alexander, I think, has been playing a little bit better with the Primal Turbos. I think Charlie's been playing way too conservative. So I like how Alexander's been playing the Primal Turbo is definitely better than Charlie. I think Charlie's been way too conservative. Definitely could have had more energy load up in play. Double Turbo to the bench there. Yeah, I don't know. I still like the Mew take there from Alexander. Like, back-to-back Snorlaxes is cool, but we also need a boss. So I think the Mew over the Snorlax here is just better. Also, Alexander could use the... Oh, wait, it's 100% better because you can use... If you can boss up Charlie's Snorlax and use Mew to copy Charlie's Snorlax to win the game. Right? So the Mew also sees us plus more cards to work with, right? Yeah. So Alexander definitely misplayed here by not getting Mew. Unless like the last 2 prize cards are like really, really good. But I don't think they're that good. Yeah, they're not that good. So yeah, Alexander 100% should have got Mew here. Because Mew draws us cards. Mew draws us cards. And then you can boss up Charlie's Snorlax and copy the Snorlax. Which is cool. Charlie then promotes the Snorlax. Which is interesting. There's a jet. Okay, but I think we have Luminion for boss here. Okay. First I was a little bit confused, but we do just have game here on the Luminion. All right, cool. There's 3, no double turbos. Alexander wants to make sure what Luminous Energy does. It does count as a colorless. It doesn't reduce Snorlax's damage. So yeah, Snorlax will get the KO here. Okay, we go to game 3. Yeah, Kirk could have been more aggressive, I think, with energy placement. Alexander should have got Mew at the end there. Could have put the Weird Ear in play as well, like I mentioned. I think Alexander probably could have put Weird Ear in play on that turn before last, just to have another threat on board. Because once again, I don't think you care if Charlie boss KOs your... It depends on the hand. You might care if Charlie boss KOs your Weird Ear. I'm actually not 100% sure there in that situation, to be honest. Wait, are we not going to game 3? Am I trolling? How much time was left? Wait, what? Oh wait, Charlie 2-0'd him. Dude, I thought that was literally going to game 3. I don't know what I was thinking there. Dude, I thought that was 1-1. I was like, what the fuck? All right. We got Kerr again with the Colorless Lugia. And then is it Nicolo? How do you say that name? Nicolo? with the Arceus Path B-Barrel Gyarados of VMAX deck. Definitely a unexpected an unexpected deck to show up and get into the top 8 for sure here. But Nicolo. All right, Nicolo versus Charlie. In this matchup, honestly, I don't know. I have no idea who's favored here. Lugia is a pretty good attacker because it doesn't get one-hit KO'd by anything on Nicolo's side, but Nicolo does have Path Judge, which can make it hard to even get double Archeops into play through the Summoning Star. And then also the Weirdeer is going to be a pretty powerful potential late-game attacker, but once again, Path to the Peak comes up. Like, the Weirdeer can come up and just, like, one-hit KO something, and it's possible Charlie could use Weirdeer on a turn. Actually, Weirdeer with V-Guard energy seems super sick in this matchup, because Arceus, even with a V-Guard, can't KO the Weirdeer. So an early Weirdeer could just like blow this matchup out of the water. The Gyarados can still want to KO it, but it depends what Nicolo is able to set up before the Weirdeer could come online. Or you could go like Weirdeer boss KO Gyarados. So V-Guard on, because like then you can't choice belt the Arceus to KO the Weirdeer. But also Nicolo does play the Slacking. So the Slacking is like also a factor, I guess, as well. Where it's like the Slacking could come up. That does 260. That still gets through the Weirdeer. But Weirdeer's like actually Weirdeer. Oh no, that's not true. Slacking can one-hit KO Lugia. And actually, Slacking can't get one-hit KO'd back by Lugia. So we got like Slacking, which seems like the best attacker for Nicolo. And then Weirdeer is probably the best attacker for Charlie in this matchup, I think. I'm just going to look at Charlie's list again real fast. Mew can copy Slacking. So Mew's a good attacker as well to copy Slacking. Later the game goes, Charizard can one-hit KO Slacking. Okay, those are good options as well. And Nicolo, the Gyarados is just huge. 330 HP, right? Put a V-Guard on there. You can hit for 240 with a choice belt. You can hit 270, so you're not one-hit KOing the Lugia. So Lugia's a really strong attacker here for Charlie, though. But if you go back and forth on the 2-hit for 2-hit, though, one of the things that's going to suck for Charlie on the 2-hit for 2-hit is Nicolo does play the Cheren's Care. So the Cheren's Care, reset the Arceus, and then you're kind of ahead on the 2-hit back and forth shenanigans here. And I guess also Nicolo and both players do have the potential for the turn 2-220, because Nicolo does play Melanie. So you can go like attach Melanie, attach Choice Belt, one-hit KO Lugia V, and also plays the V-Guard. They both play V-Guard, so the V-Guards can stop the other from getting the turn 2-220 as well, which is interesting. That's something that could come up. Only one V-Guard for Kerr, though, and there's 2 V-Guard for Nicolo. Neither player has any way to search it out after it's like relevant, though, I guess, for the most part. Well, I guess that's not true. You could find it getting the V-Guard later to protect a 220 on the bench from Nicolo is actually relevant. Oh, also that is going to be a thing here as well. Like Charlie will be able to boss 220. Actually, both players can do that. They can both boss KO 220 to the benched Vs. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm curious to see how this goes. Also, it's possible this game ends in like 2 turns because Nicolo just goes Path Judge and just like attacks through the active and wins the game. The big part about this is like there's not that much comeback potential for Charlie, I feel like. If Nicolo just gets ahead, has the Gyarados, has a big hitter, has the Slacking as a big hitter, I feel like Nicolo can just like snowball the matchup really fast through Judge Path. And then it's a little like I feel like the comeback potential for Nicolo is a little bit higher than for Charlie, because maybe just a little bit better. I don't know who I'd favor in this matchup at all, to be honest. I have no clue. I'm interested to see how it goes, though. BDIF rip off the grab from the nest ball, and then Lugia start for Charlie's pretty good. Get that read the wind off, get some Archeops in the discard pile. Like I said, Nicolo can set up for that turn 2-220 though. Does play Melanie, does play Choice Belt, so it is possible. There's the Melanie in the hand, there's a B-Barrel in the hand. The rest of the hand kind of sucks though. Has the Choice Belt though, so is like kind of close to the turn 2-220. It's kind of close, but it's probably gonna have to settle for probably just a 180. A turn 2 180 is probably gonna have to be the settle here from Nicolo. Also only does play 3 double turbo. I think someone pointed that out in chat earlier. I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. Does play 2 Melanie, so the Melanies can kind of make up for that, I guess, a little bit. Turn 1 Burnett here from Charlie into the capture room. Also, like a big part about this matchup as well is Charlie does not play the Pumpkaboo, I believe, which I think is was a correct call going into this tournament. Overall, because Lost Tina was on the downswing heavy, and it's such a good matchup. Like, there's like the main path deck. I guess the main path deck is now Miraidon. But I know a lot of people already kind of sell off that matchup for Lugia, where it's like it's just a bad matchup for Lugia. So like teching for that matchup specifically doesn't seem worth it. There's Read the Wind. Kept the stadium in hand, which you love to see. The gift energy active, you would like to see the V-Guard probably from Charlie, but is the... Oh, wait a second. We're actually getting close to it. Nicolo could go attach Choice Belt active and then B-Barrel for 1. And if Nicolo gets Ultra Ball, that becomes a knockout on the Lugia. I wonder if Nicolo's going to go for it, though. Could also just play the Iono, which I think is also just like a reasonable play. I don't know if going for this turn 1 KO is like worth using your Choice Belt. Because conserving the Choice Belt to use on slacking later... I don't think it really matters too much on the... Oh, no, wait. Weird Deer has 220 HP. Oh, so saving it for the Gyarados even to KO Weird Deer later with a V-Guard could be good as well. Saving it for the Slacking to want to KO a Lugia. I guess Slacking doesn't want to KO Lugia if it has the V-Guard. But once again, Charlie only has 1 Lugia. Or saving it for your other Arceus that has 3 basic water energy on it eventually. Oh, that's a bad draw. If Nicolo also just saves it for the second Arceus so that Arceus can boss KO Lugia Vs, like have the potential for that, it's also worth it as well. So... I think it's fine for Nicolo to like just play the Iono. Don't go for like the all in. But yeah, this hand sucks for Nicolo. Not good. Does go ahead and just immediately Palpad back the Iono. Does have the double turbo, I believe, in a path to the peak. So could still draw with B-Barrel actually. So we can still draw into the attack here. Now you could draw for 1. Now there's 2 things you can do here as Nicolo. You could draw for 1 and play the path. But then you can't use Starbirth. But you're really just focused on getting the Arceus to begin with. So I think I would like to see Nicolo play Path and draw 2, to be honest. And yeah, Nicolo agrees. The B-Barrel for 2. Can we get an Arceus? Nestball? Nestball's still solid. But I think you definitely want to punch here as Nicolo. And you do have the Melanie, so you can afford to punch this turn. To be honest, if Charlie gets the Stadium bump, you probably just lose this one anyways, just based on tempo. So if I'm Nicolo here, I think I would definitely go for the damage. Because you're going to get rewarded for that value if Charlie whiffs. But if you don't go for the punch here and you go for the Trinity charges, Nicolo, I think you're just selling yourself down a path where it's like, it protects you against Charlie getting the knockout next turn. But if Charlie gets the knockout next turn, I think you're packing it up and going to the next game most of the time anyways. So I think I think Nicolo should definitely go for, the Nest Ball is fine, but I think Nicolo should definitely go for the punch here. Just get a hit off. We'll see them. And then Charlie at the very least, I guess we'll have Read the Wind to work with. And did fully shuffle up, so I assume the punch is coming here from Nicolo. Yeah, goes for the punch. I like it. I like the punch. Oh, that hand is suck. That hand sucks. It's a bunch of energy. Jeez, man. Energy galore. So I think from Kerr here, we're going to see a Read the Wind. You don't have to Ultra Ball right now from Kerr, though. You could just Read the Wind, but then you risk like getting judged. Oh, wait, he's going for the Lugia V-Star. Whoa. Is there 2 Archeops in the discard pile, or am I trolling? I thought there was only 1 Archeops in the discard pile from Kerr here. There might be 2. I could be trolling. I don't think I'm trolling. Have I ever trolled? V-Guard to the bench. I don't hate it. Read the Wind away on the energy. There's 3? Okay, that's even better. I don't know if I love this V-Guard here, because like I said, I was hyping up the V-Guard Burnett at turn 1. Oh, that's true. Charlie did Burnett turn 1. Wait, then I really don't like this Ultra Ball, I don't think. That's a lot of resources down. I don't think I like this Ultra Ball. I guess so playing the Ultra Ball now does... Yeah, I forgot about the Burnett. Playing this Ultra Ball right now does protect against... Getting the Lugia V-Star in play does protect against Judge, but it's at such a big expense. 2 energy and the Mew. The Mew's not a bad attacker to potentially respond to a slacking. So I don't know if I like this from Kerr. I almost would like to have just seen it attached to... I don't even like the V-Guard on the bench, to be honest, either. Also, another play Kerr could have made would be jet up the bench Lugia V. Could have gone jet up the bench Lugia V and let that Lugia take a hit. The one thing that could play out here that'd be against Kerr would be Nicolo could go this Arceus, KO this Lugia V, set up the slacking. Now I don't know how much Charlie knows about Nicolo's deck, so I don't know if Charlie knows about the slacking. But but I guess the V-Guard does protect the Lugia V-Star from the slacking, right? I guess it does protect it, but then you don't have the V-Guard for later. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on losing this much energy, to be honest. I'm kind of torn on this much energy going down. I wouldn't hate to have seen Charlie just chill and just use Read the Wind. And then, yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the V-Guard on the bench. It's okay, but like saving it for the Weird Ear, like I think I would have rather preferred to have seen draw 2 more from gift off 2 more energy. Oh, that's true. If we do play an Ultra Ball here, Charlie will draw more off gift. I didn't really factor in the gift, to be honest. I didn't think about the gift energy. But I guess you're probably right then, James. It probably is correct to thin out the hand a little bit. But you're still drawing 3 off the... You're still drawing 3 off the... Whatever it's called. Honestly, his odds are pretty low of getting Stadium. Yeah, but getting a draw supporter isn't like ridiculously unlikely. I feel like getting a draw supporter or a Stadium isn't ridiculously unlikely. If the draw supporter hopefully becomes a Stadium. It's just a lot of energy to bite the dust. I also just don't like the V-Guard attached there. I would like to see a gift get put down there, I guess, instead. Did I know Nicolo's list approaching top 8? No, I had no clue. No. Oh, no, I knew there was Gyarados. Oh, no, I knew there was Gyarados and Slacking because I sat next to Nicolo run around. So I knew there was Gyarados, Slacking, Greninja. So I suspected Poppy, but there was no Poppy in the list in the end. Choice Belt, Path. Yeah, like I knew most of it. I didn't know about the Gyarados. I only knew about the Slacking, but then someone told me about the Gyarados. Also, he had a shuffle deck because he had collapse on the bottom. Oh, that's true. There was a collapse on the bottom. Okay, so it probably makes sense to play the Ultra Ball, to be honest, overall. I just don't love the idea of losing the energy, but you thin out the hand a little bit more so you draw more off gift. You do shuffle the deck because there is a collapse on the bottom. It's probably correct, to be honest. I still don't like the V-Guard attachment, though. It is good on Lugia in this matchup, but it's like situational. So I would like to see Kirk keep around the V-Guard, I think, and then kind of have the option of it. But maybe it was only Jet energy in hand, so you would have to have Jet. It's either Jet or V-Guard to attach return. You definitely want to attach return as Kirk. So maybe the V-Guard had to be the attachment, to be honest. But I think you want to try and keep the flexibility around it of it being on the Lugia or a Weird Deer as long as you possibly can. That's an interesting choice from Nicolo. I guess the Radiant Greninja is kind of cool here because it can set up the 2 KOs on the Lugias. Is Nicolo going to attach to it, though? The thing is, Nicolo doesn't play a way to accelerate energy to the Greninja. Was the Slacking prized? It's definitely a curious choice to put the Greninja on the bench there. I feel like loading up Slacking here is like really good. I'm like a big load up Slacking this turn here fan for sure. I honestly think you could probably give up the path to the peak here as Nicolo. Like Nicolo agrees because like once the first path gets bumped, like a Lake path still to shut down Luminion is nice, but there's one more path left for Nicolo or 2 more path left. So yeah, I definitely like getting rid of the path here. And then also can Melanie this turn to the bench Arceus. Is there a reason not to grab Slacking here? I guess there's the V-Guard already on the bench Lugia. Or what about the Gyarados? Wait, was one of these things prized? I didn't really check we looked at the prize cards, but maybe the Gyarados isn't that good in this matchup. What are we at? 451, 58? The Gyarados VMAX is prized, okay. So I guess with Gyarados VMAX prized, you probably don't want to bench the Gyarados there for it to die. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But Slacking's cool. I still kind of like Slacking. I guess Slacking doesn't line up too well into a Lugia with a V-Guard, though, so. Yeah. All right. We do get the stadium here for Charlie, but we are behind. But there's no big threat here for Nicolo. But so we can still, I guess we can still get the V-Guard to the Weird Deer. Can Charlie just like Choice Belt? Can the Weird Deer just nuke here? Is there a Jet in hand? Yeah, can we just go Weird Deer 1-hit KO? That would just like win the game here, I feel like. There's no Jet in hand, though, right now. If we had conserved if it would have been possible to have conserved the Jet. I don't think the Weird Deer is prized here. There's no V-Guard on the active. Wait. Yeah, we could do it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, Jet up. Yeah. And we get the V-Guard on the Weird Deer. And the Weird Deer can't die to Choice Belt. Hey, let me look at Nicolo's list here to make sure I'm not trolling, though. Just a lost vacuum for some kind of removal? Okay, cool. He got rid of 2 Jets already, so it would be tough to find. Yeah, but I think Charlie could have conserved a Jet, though, right? Charlie could have conserved a Jet. For sure, I think. So, could have had, like, a Jet in hand here. So, I think that's probably just a mistake from Charlie to not, like, identify that as a play and then kind of tunnel vision on it, to be honest. Because, like, yeah, because, like, the Weird Deer, it's possible to make the Weird Deer un-KOable, which is, yeah, could have discarded Ultra. Yeah, so that's definitely a mistake here from Charlie to not tunnel vision on the Weird Deer. Not tunnel vision on the Weird Deer play, but recognize the power of it, because it's definitely ridiculously strong in this matchup. I don't hate another Lugia grab here from Charlie. I don't know. This Lugia can get punished, though, by Choice Belt Boss now from Nicolo if Nicolo wants to. Can go for just, like, Choice Belt Boss KO on this Lugia. Go down to 2 prize cards left. And then is Boss away from winning, or 2 KO on the next Lugia from away from winning? Collapse could get involved at that point, but, yeah. Have I come around to Weird Deer now? I don't know. I'm not really trying to tech for the Arceus matchup. I don't know if I've really come around on Weird Deer, to be honest. I still have yet to have used it. Like, I think it's good in the Miraidon matchup, actually. I think Weird Deer is good in the Miraidon matchup because it gives you an aggressive attacker that doesn't have to have you leave a Lugia V in play in the early game. And then you can, like, clean up with Charizard at the end. So I think it's good in the Miraidon matchup, but yeah, not a huge fan still. Yeah, I don't know, on Nicolo's side, I kind of like the idea of setting up the Slacking, but I guess the Slacking is not that good because of the V-Guard on the Lugia, like I was saying. But now that Nicolo draws into the Gyarados, Nicolo all of a sudden benches it. But I guess there's a little bit more value to benching the Gyarados now because the active, if you're not going to Chair and Scare, or if you are going to Chair and Scare, you'll have 2 liabilities on the bench. So I guess it's like the same thing, to be honest. I guess it's fine. Doesn't have a boss. Does have a Serena, though, but I don't think has the... Oh, no, but still has Starburst. So literally, Nicolo can do literally anything. I think it looks like Nicolo is lining up for that Choice Belt play. The Choice Belt Serena KO on the benched Lugia. That's what I assume is going on here. Now, where does the energy go for turn, though? Gonna put a water on the benched Arceus? I mean, could still just punch the active here, though. I wouldn't be the end of the world either. Goes for the B-Barrel for 1. That makes me think that Nicolo isn't going to go for the Choice Belt play. Because Nicolo could have just, like, played the Serena first. No, but is going for the Choice Belt play. So Nicolo should have played the Serena before using Starbirth here. Because you're always going to use the Serena. So you may as well have just played the Serena, then draw on the extra card up B-Barrel. You increase your odds of getting the Choice Belt without using Starbirth, which would have been crazy if Nicolo could have conserved Starbirth for another turn. That would have been, like, too good. It goes for the Nest Ball as well, so I assume second Doofer is making its way to the field. And Nicolo's just super far ahead here. See, so I didn't like this. I don't think I like this second Lugia bench here from Charlie, because now you're giving up 2 prize cards for 1 attack. I think you have to, like, not bench this here as Charlie. And Charlie definitely should have focused on the Weird Ear play on that if Charlie had Weird Ear this turn, I think Charlie maybe just wins, to be honest. But didn't have the Weird Ear play, but could have had the Weird Ear play. He may not have prize checked the belt. I mean, once again, it's still a mistake. I'm talking as if they should have checked important prize cards, and if they choose not to check them, then that's on them. So I'm not going to talk as if no one's ever trying to do. I'm not talking as if everyone's always scared of misplaying everything. I'm never going to make that my point of analysis. I'm just going to assume that Nicolo knew where the Choice Belt was. Attach return happened. Here comes the knockout. I don't know how many energy are left in the deck for the Gyarados. It's actually interesting that how good is the double turbo on the Gyarados? Because Nicolo, instead of attaching to this Arceus, could have attached this energy to the Gyarados. Because is another basic water energy on this Arceus ever do anything? Because this energy could have been here, or we could just attach a double turbo here, which I think was probably the better play, I think. I'm not sure. It's funny that I mentioned the TT here in Gyarados. So there's the boss on the Gyarados from Charlie. But Charlie, I think, is just desperate here. So Charlie's just swinging just to trap this for a turn. What is it? It doesn't KO it. But Charlie knows that. It looks like Nicolo did not know that in the beginning, though. So the dose is loaded up. Did get the VMAX off the prize cards. So Charlie's just hoping that there's no VMAX this turn. Because, yeah, what does the first attack do? It does just KO, right? Doesn't the first attack just KO the Lugia here? I forget what it does. Dude, I gotta read this freaking. Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait, no. That's not... The V has the Get Angry attack. The V has the Get Angry attack. 20 times the amount of damage counters on this Pokemon. So Charlie literally... Oh, no. So it would have hit for what? 400 damage? With an energy? And Charlie was just hoping that no other energy existed. So it would have been 380, which still KOs. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Nicolo had game there just by going attached, Get Angry. I'm sure that like never comes up though, so I don't like. I don't fault. Like it's definitely a mistake on Nicolo's side, but had game there. That's actually kind of funny. 350 gets a V guard, but yeah. V guard still doesn't save it. There's just the hard retreat. We're still getting a punch with Arceus here, as Nicolo has plenty of switch cards left, so nothing's gonna get trapped in the active. There we go. Punch. Search the deck for some energy. There's no energy left, actually. I don't think. Plays 1 jet as well. Interesting. Okay. Yep. So just punch and pass. Gonna look for the boss KO on the next turn probably from Nicolo. And 2-card hand still here for Kerr. Research. I was like another thing about that. Wait, did Kerr have... No, Kerr boss last turn. Boss over research there. Was that fine? I guess that was fine. The second he evolved, he realized he had game. Yeah. Nicolo did say he did do 360 damage with Get Angry early. Oh, so literally used Get Angry early in the tournament and then forgot about it? That's funny. There is the Weird Ear. Okay, so the Weird Ear is coming into play here. But is there a collapsed? Actually, I think there is a collapsed. Oh, wait a second. Wait, this is actually possible for Charlie to win then, right? Because there's no way for the Arceus, the active Arceus, to get the KO. Or no, the active Arceus is going to go down. And there's no way for the other Arceus. There's the retreat. The load up. Is that enough energy? I don't even know. We have the collapse as well, right? There's a collapsed. Get rid of the Lugia V. Star. Nicolo can get rid of the Greninja or the Gyarados. I don't I don't know. You're gonna be able to get value out of the Gyarados anymore. Goes with the Gyarados discard. Seems fine. I assume this is the knockout. If this isn't the knockout, I'm losing my mind. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, minus 20. No, minus 40. This isn't the knockout, right? Wait. Oh, wait, and there's a V-Guard. This is not the KO. Wait, am I trolling? Hold up. 1, 2, dude, I'm probably trolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it is the KO. No, wait. 9. Dude, I'm fucking trolling. It is the KO. It is the KO. Then V-Guard minus 20. Yeah, it is the KO. Minus 40, yeah. Minus 40, minus 30, 290. All right. Dude, yeah, that's why I don't... See, this is actually why I don't play Weird Ear and Colorless Lugia. Because the math hurts my head. So now Nicolo is still in an okay spot. But it's possible that Charlie just wins. So all Nicolo has to do is attach twice to the bench Arceus. Has plenty of energy left as well. There's a couple V-Guards left. Should probably play the Ultra Ball here and go ahead and grab the second B-Barrel just to maximize draw outs. Minus 60? No, we're minus 40, right? There's only 3 double turbos there. Well, there's 2 double turbos. It's minus 70, right? Kofi's gonna get punched for attaching that extra jet. Oh. But there's no... Wait, am I trolling? To have a 4 times 40 chart for rapid melee. Equals 290. Yeah, we're doing 290, right? We had just enough for the 1-hit KO, right? All right, B-Barrel draw number 1, and then we'll probably see... we could see the Iono, actually, and then draw again. Oh, has the freaking... Oh, wait, does that even matter? Minus 30, 170 to 1... Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. 220. Dude, I keep thinking that Weird Ear has 210 HP. I don't know why. I just keep thinking that the Weird Ear has 210 HP. I don't know why. I guess you could, like, hit with... No, it's like no small Pokemon that does 10 damage in this deck, right? Is there the energy? We also have another B-Barrel to work with. No energy hit here for Nicolo. Can go path and then draw with the next B-Barrel, though. Does have a double turbo and like a jet left, though, I think. Like, can get there. What's the reason to not put the path in play here, I guess is the question. I don't know why you wouldn't ever put path in play. I don't know why Nicolo's so against putting the path in play. Oh, there's a Melanie in hand as well. We have the Melanie. So just goes for the B-Barrel for 1. Draws into a jet, though. You can't play the jet. Whoa. Jet up. Oh, and then escape rope. Okay. Wait, what? Jet up, escape rope. So you get a prize card, and then how do you get your last prize card? Oh, double turbo Arceus V-Star boss, I guess. Sure. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Okay, that works. But why not play the path before using the B-Barrel? What was the reason of holding onto this path so badly? Because now Nicolo's thinking about putting the path... So that's just a mistake. Why would he ever... Does that actually make a difference? Am I trolling? No, right? No, I'm not. Yeah, you should always just play the path first there. Does have double turbo boss in the deck, though. So can go V-Star boss KO next turn. Melanie makes it miss the attach. Charizard push from Charlie. Whoa, what? Oh, we do have a Stadium in hand. So we can attack with Radiant Charizard here. But Nicolo's going down to 1 prize card. What? Wait, why are we not attacking with Weird Ear again? Charlie could collapse away the Weird Ear now? Yeah, but Nicolo's on 1 prize card. You have to attack with Weird Ear. I forgot about path. The path doesn't matter. Putting a 1 prize card in your... Putting a 1 prize Pokemon in your active is what matters here. The path doesn't mean anything. Yeah, Charlie just trolled by not setting up the Weird Ear. Charlie, like, did not realize that Nicolo was going down to... So, here's what happened. He shouldn't have to remember path. Here's what happened. Charlie was like, okay, Nicolo's plan is to 2-KO on my Weird Ear. And then Nicolo attacks. And then Charlie's like, okay, Nicolo's plan is to 2-KO on my Weird Ear. So I can't put Weird Ear in my active. Okay, I can get the knockout with Charizard now, though. Sends up Charizard. But, like, didn't calculate... Oh, wait, Nicolo didn't punch my Weird Ear last turn, even though that was, like, the initial thought that Charlie had as to what Nicolo was going to do. As soon as, and now Charlie realizes, oh wait, what the heck am I doing? That was maybe the reason he hesitated putting the path into play. Oh, the initial hesitation. Yeah, but I'm saying, but if you're, I'm just saying it's a misplay. I'm just saying no matter what, it's a misplay because you ended up putting it in play anyways. So even from Nicolo's side, even if that's what Nicolo was thinking about, no, but it's not a. That doesn't matter at this point because you did the escape rope play. As soon as Nicolo locked in on doing the escape rope play, it's always correct to just play the path immediately. I don't know if Nicolo was locked in on that before using the B barrel. I forget actually, to be honest. But yeah, now Charlie has completely thrown this match, so Nicolo should be winning anyways. Here comes the draw for 1 off the Iono, but has double B barrel to work with. I can't tell what it is, but now it's getting closer to the double turbo plus boss. Does Charlie just lose here? Jesus, that's so bad. Second Archeops. Can we retreat the active? Oh, wait, we have double turbo to retreat. Okay. We can retreat the Charizard and attack with the Weird Air. So Charlie might be saved here, actually. There's the retreat. And then we get the Weird Air KO. But actually, I don't know if Charlie can move or attack with the Radiant Charizard if Nicolo whiffs. If Nicolo whiffs here, I don't know if Charlie can move or attack with the Radiant Charizard. But did draw pretty well. It has the Ultra Ball, so that's like a pretty good start. Drew to the switch, which isn't good. But you can vacuum the switch and Ultra Ball away the other 2 cards. So you can burn the whole hand, get Arceus V-Star. I don't think there's no reason in going for the Iono here, yeah. Oh, but do you want to bump the path, I guess would be a question, because then that gives Charlie more... Bumping the path gives Charlie more to work with, though. He has 1 jet left in deck. There is a jet left in deck? Oh, he has jet energy left, so Charlie has jet energy left. Okay. And Charlie's down to 2 prize cards, though, so Charlie does need to KO 2 prize Pokemon here. There's a boss. 2 boss. Okay. Well, it now has to be the stall route here from Nicolo. So boss Radiant Charizard, hope he gets stuck in the active. Hopefully Charlie can't find the jet energy. That's what we're hoping for here from Nicolo. You guys give you fewer outs to retreating Zard later. Well, yeah, of course. Retreating the Zard there was not a good thing. Charlie didn't want to retreat the Zard there, but Charlie forgot what the heck was happening and then had to retreat the Zard. You definitely had to retreat the Zard there as Charlie. Charlie realized a little bit too late that the Zard shouldn't be in the active. Even though, like, initially that seemed like a fine line because you thought the Weird Ear was going to be the prize cards for Nicolo. But as soon as Nicolo draws a prize card, that is not hitting the Weird Ear. As soon as Nicolo doesn't hit the Weird Ear and draws a prize card, all of a sudden the Zard is no good. Yep, boss Zard pass. So now for Charlie, Charlie needs to find... You guys said there's a jet energy left, so Charlie needs to find a jet energy. Has the research in hand. There's the jet in the deck. Is there 3 other energy total? Has a lot of ways to thin out the deck, too. A lot of Pokemon are going to be thinned out here. You can keep going further, too. Has a research. And can even Ultra Ball for Luminian and Luminian for a supporter. So we can see Ultra Ball for Luminian, Luminian for a supporter. Thin out the deck further. As long as there's a supporter left in the deck, which I'm not sure there is. S-Ball as well to grab Snorlax. Did not Ultra Ball for Luminian. There might not have been a supporter left, though, to be honest. You are right, though. There could have been another jet energy in the deck. I think that's what Soda mentioned. There could have been 1 more jet in the deck here. There's the research. Do we see the jet draw? We're not drawing the whole deck here, I assume. But we're getting pretty close to it. And no jet drawn. So I think, yeah. So now Nicolo is going to for sure win on the next turn. Oh, there was an Iono left. So we could have thinned out the deck a little bit further. So Charlie could have gotten Luminian and then played Luminian. Luminian for the Iono. Or even, I don't know, if you drew to another support or whatever. Misses because he saved the fish. Well, I mean, it was the last card. So theoretically, it doesn't actually matter. But you don't know how you're going to draw if you just play the fish. So, because once you take the Iono out of the deck, I don't know, however your deck shows, it's a misplay. No matter what, even though it whiffed anyways. And like theoretically, if the cards have been drawn exactly the same. But they're not going to be drawn exactly the same if you just played the Luminian. Double turbo top deck, and Nicolo wins. So honestly, yeah, Charlie just could have played better. Honestly, if Charlie recognized the value of the potential of the Weird Ear, as soon as there's a board state, there's just like a possibility that a board state gets set up. It's just a possibility that a board state gets set up on Nicolo's side where the Weird Ear can't be answered. And as soon as that happens, you need to take advantage of it as Charlie. But Charlie didn't play with that in mind. But yeah, Charlie could have definitely won this. Charlie definitely could have won this match for sure. Charlie played pretty bad in that game. Pretty tall from Nicolo, though. The only thing was like there was like 2 hesitations before B barrels where Nicolo like didn't play a card, then used B barrel, then then played the card afterwards. So probably just should have played the card to begin with. But definitely poorly played from Charlie. Could have been played better from Nicolo, and I think Nicolo also like left himself vulnerable to the Weird Ear play when he could have set up the slacking. Like Nicolo needs to not let the Weird Ear win the game. So Nicolo needs to have Gyarados or slacking set up as soon as possible. Slacking's not even that bad to put in play. I guess the problem with slacking is it can get Radiant Zard at the end of the game, so you don't really want slacking to play. So you do prefer the Gyarados of the two. If you're gonna set up one or the other, you want to set up the Gyarados. Did I see Charlie's matchups in Swiss rounds? No. Well, I saw, yeah, Charlie against Alexander, yeah. So that was definitely so we want to see Nicolo like play more heavily to be able to answer. Slacking also requires Path to attack. That doesn't really, yeah, you want Gyarados, but if you have to settle for Slacking, it's fine. You play 4 Path, you'll get there. You just definitely need to have an answer to the Weird Ear, because if the V-Guard gets on the Weird Ear and it 1-hit KO something, it's not getting KO'd back. So Nicolo needs to respect the Weird Ear better. Charlie needs to abuse the Weird Ear better, and then Charlie also needs to. Yeah, Charlie honestly just had game. Charlie honestly just had game. Multiple times in that set, I think Charlie had game. Hopefully we see Charlie play a little bit better here. Yeah, because the first one was like could have gone with a more aggressive Weird Ear. What are my thoughts overall on the Gyarados? I mean, it's like fine. It's like nothing super special. I mean, it's just like an Arceus Path deck. This is literally just an Arceus Path deck. That's like it. You would imagine Charlie would know what the Gyarados V did, considering they played against each other around 15. I mean, I don't actually hate Charlie's boss Gyarados punch play, to be honest, and just hope that there's no energy. I don't think it's like actually terrible. I mean, Nico did too if he attacked with Gyarados V instead of evolving it. That is true. Yeah, that was actually a big blunder from Nico, actually. That was game. We're still in game 1, aren't we? That actually made this game way clear. I forgot about that, to be honest. I forgot about Nico messing that up. Yeah, that came after Charlie didn't play for the Weird Ear play, though. So, like, yeah. But yeah, I forgot about that. That was a pretty big blunder from Nico. Besides that, it was, like, pretty clean. But that was I forgot about that. I thought that was, like, a different game, to be honest. Immediate V... I don't like the immediate V-Guard energy. He said knockout when he bossed it. Oh, wait. Charlie did? Charlie thought he was KOing? Charlie bossed it and attacked into it? I think attacking into the Gyarados isn't the end of the world, though. Because like, you could just be hoping that Nico can't retreat it and be like, well, I need to answer this Gyarados before it evolves and there's a full HP Gyarados VMAX staring me in the face. So I'm going to go ahead and just boss it and punch it. Hope it can't move this turn and then KO it next turn. I don't actually think that's actually a bad play, to be honest. But apparently, I guess Charlie thought that he had the knockout on it. So that's not good. Also, like I said, I don't like his aggressive V-Guard attachment. It's possible to just get stuck on the Lugia before you would want it on the Weird Ear. So I would like to see Charlie not attach the V-Guard. I don't know what the rest of the hand looks like, though. If it's just like a research in the hand for Charlie, then I guess, yeah, getting into play is better than it not being in play. But you could also, if Charlie played Fish and Thinda support, he would have drawn his whole deck. No, Charlie would have still not drawn his whole deck, though. I still wouldn't have drawn his whole deck. So he thinned out a Pokemon still. No matter what, Pokemon got thinned out, but the Luminian also thins out a supporter, so would have been like one less card, not 2 less cards. You appreciate the 26 months there, Pilot Ghost. All right, so yeah, Charlie's going first. Has a pretty big hand. The other thing Charlie could have done would be to like put the V-Guard on a bench Pokemon to like get with Weird Ear later. That would have been something for sure. Yeah. There's the Greninja use from Nicolo. And has the double turbo. Does not have a Path to the Peak, though, which I'm sure is the card that Nicolo was looking for. So he's going to have to settle for turn 2 Arceus here, it looks like. And has turn 2 B-Barrel, so it's like a pretty good turn 2, but if, I mean, Charlie could even have, well, unlikely, but Charlie could have Boss KO, I guess. All right, here come the Aromas Tails. That could become a Luminian for the Burnett, possibly. I didn't really check the prize cards on the initial search, I'm not going to lie. There we go. Even getting a 1 prize knockout here is also, like, fine for Charlie. There's a Heads, so that can become a Lugia V-Star. So as long as the Burnett and 2 Arcaps are in the deck, this is a turn 2 attack here from Charlie. And I believe... Actually, I have no clue. There might be a boss in the hand. I'm not sure. If there is a boss in the hand, I want to see Charlie load up 3 non-double turbo energy on the active to take his KO to have the potential to go boss KO and Arceus on the next turn. Another one, another heads, another Archeops. So we could see the research here instead. There's 2 Archeops in the hand now. You don't get to keep the boss, though. I don't hate the Burnett choice here instead, to be honest. Because then you get to keep the boss in the hand for next turn. And next turn you could go boss, KO, and Arceus V off the bench instead. If you load up 3 non-double turbos on the active here. But you want that threat. You want the threat of that. For sure. So I'm not a huge fan of that, I don't think. I kind of like the idea of just having the boss in the hand. I mean, you could draw into a boss off the research as well, but... Those are the gift active. Is that getting rid of 2 boss, though? I don't like it if we're getting rid of 2 boss. 1 boss, I'm like, okay. I can't tell. Is that 2 boss? That looks like 2 boss. I don't like getting rid of 2 boss here. Boss seems really important in this matchup. That is 2? I like the Burnett play more. I like keeping the boss there. This is like too aggressive from Charlie. You don't need to be the boss plays are so good from here on out. As long as you have some attackers. I guess the one problem with Charlie's hand is there was no attackers. But Charlie could have just like chilled on the capturing aromas as well and just save those for a future turn. All Charlie had to do was get the first heads, first tails, and then just chill. And you also get to keep the Mezagoza as well. You also didn't have to play the Mezagoza and just could have held the Mezagoza. I don't know. The bosses seem pretty good for that. I would like to have seen Charlie play a little bit slower and just go for the Burnett. Hold the boss plays for future turns. Hold back on one of the capture aromas plus the Mezagoza. Those could become other attackers out of the hand, so your hand's like not dead in the water. It's a good chance you get Ionoed or Judge sometime soon anyways. I do like the triple or the quad double turbo load up, though, because you want to have the option of boss KO Arceus next turn. And it's going to be tough for Nicolo to play around it. Would have to Melanie active and then put a V-Guard on the bench Arceus. So I'm curious to see if, like, Nicolo goes for that. It would be a possibility, depending on how the draw goes. There's an Ultra Ball. There's a water in the discard pile here, so could draw into the V-Guard to the bench Arceus V to protect it from the Lugia. Is possible. Especially when you're taking... The other thing with this play, too, as well from Charlie, when you're taking a 1-prize knockout, having the flexibility to boss KO a 1-prizer at some point is, like, really valuable. But going down 2 boss against a deck that plays Path to the Peak... it might make it hard to ever do that anymore because like being able to go Luminium for boss is just not a reality. Yeah, not a consistent reality. So another thing that I just don't like that from. I think it's just too aggressive from Charlie. Could have chilled and been fine. I like to see a little bit more chill. So Nicolo being aggressive for the Gyarados this time around. Grabs the Gyarados immediately. Probably wants to find a V-Guard here. So Melanie active plus V-Guard to Gyarados seems good. Also, like, Judge Path is also probably, like, fine. The draw there is Melanie V-Guard-able. Like, we could see Nicolo go for Melanie plus V-Guard here to protect the Gyarados, which I don't hate. But also just going for Judge Path is fine as well. Seems to be eyeing up an Ultra Ball, though. Maybe to thin out the hand to more draw power for B-Barrel next turn. We'll see. Nope, there's the V-Guard grab. So there's going to be the V-Guard Melanie here, I think. Would you ever V-Guard your active, I guess? Probably not, right? You probably want to protect the Gyarados from getting bossed. So I assume it has to be V-Guard Melanie here. But it's going V-Guard Ultra Ball. So why are we stressing the V-Guard on the active here, I guess would be my question. Why is Nicolo obsessed with getting a V-Guard on the active here? No, wait, we're changing. Is it going to be the Melanie? I couldn't tell. It wasn't the Ultra Ball. It wasn't that Melanie either, though. Yeah, what does V-Guard on the active do here? It does make Weirdeer need more energy to KO the active, but I feel like I'm scared of getting something boss KO'd. It's not super likely. Oh wait, we're going the boss KO on the Luminion actually. Oh, okay. So Nicolo. So I guess it does make sense to get the V-Guard. Well, you could have just put... No, I guess it has to be another energy here. But should it be a V-Guard? I feel like we should save the V-Guards in our deck though still. I still don't like the V-Guard grab, I think. I guess it depends on how many energy you want to keep in your deck. So just going for the aggressive 2-prize knockout. I don't hate it. I don't know if I love it though. You're not really threatening this Lugia still anytime soon. The Lugia from Charlie is just not being threatened anytime soon either though. Triple water grab. I don't know. We still got to get through this Lugia. And if Charlie does have boss KO Gyarados here, I mean, you're just kind of chilling for a turn as Nicolo. I think we do have the boss KO on it here for I think that I can't tell if that's a boss or not to be honest, but I think it is. And if I was Charlie, I would boss that Gyarados. That thing's scary. Yep, there we go. See, I don't know. Like, what did that really do for Nicolo? I guess Charlie was down 2 boss, and you could put Path into play as Nicolo. So what is the chances that Charlie has the boss on the following turn? Probably not super high. All right, I don't hate it. I still don't know if I love the V-Guard grab here, though, to be honest. I kind of like the idea of saving the V-Guard to put on our V-Pokemon later on in the game to protect them from getting boss KO'd by Lugias. I'm not sold on the V-Guard. Because if you're hoping that Charlie doesn't have boss here... You think you grab Gyarados here over Slacking? The Slacking V would be interesting as well, though, because if you grab Slacking V, it has the 230, so it can't be boss KO'd by Lugia, which would be nice. And you're putting the Path in play to hopefully to stop the Weird Air play. So honestly, Nicolo could have gone, grab Slacking, just load up Slacking, and punch the active. That would have been interesting. Then the Choice Belted Slacking or Defiance Band and Slacking would be able to KO the Lugia V on the next turn, I guess. Playing around 2 collapsed. No, but then you're just like, but you're still just punching this Lugia next turn as Nicolo, which means this Lugia could get collapsed, and it's like the same thing. You know, 2 prizers just leaving play. And you're pressuring Charlie's energy on a later turn, so then Charlie's probably okay to lose these energy to a collapsed stadium as well. So it's like the same thing. If Nicolo has to just punch a Lugia V-Star next turn because of bossing on the previous turn of the Luminian, then you're putting yourself in a situation where this Lugia could just be collapsed away, and it's the same thing as the Luminian being collapsed away. Because I don't think Nicolo thinks... With the current setup, I don't think Nicolo thinks that he's going to boss around this Lugia for the rest of the game, or it won't have an opportunity for it to get punched and then collapse away later, so I don't know. Also, once again, like I said, I kind of like the idea of saving the V-Guards to protect your bench Vs later, unless Nicolo only plans to like set up these 2 Arceus for the rest of the game, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win the game, so you're going to have to bench another V at some point, but Charlie does only have 1 boss left, so I don't know how much Charlie wants to boss anything, to be honest. Because at this point, Charlie can go like Weird Ear 1-hit KO into Boss B Barrel for the dub, which I'm sure is what Charlie's focus is probably going to be here. Actually, to be honest, the Vengeful Punch is kind of annoying though, because it makes the Weird Ear less good here. The Vengeful Punch is actually super annoying. Because if you KO with the Weird Ear, you take 40, so you have 180 HP left. Even with a V-Guard, you don't... Well, V-Guard gets you to what? 52. I guess you do survive a non-choice belted or Defiance banded Arceus. But there's a decent chance that Nicolo finds one of those after the Vengeful Punch. That is kind of annoying. But if Charlie does go 1-hit KO the active, Charlie can go 1-hit KO active with Weird Air and then go boss KO the B-Barrel to win the game. So, and there is the Luminian, not the Melanie. There's a Sharon in hand here for Nicolo. I was like, it's a card. I know there's a card. Is thinking about playing the Ultra Ball here as well. So is going to put another liability in play. But this is also Charlie's last boss, which is once again why I go back to the beginning of the game where Charlie researched away 2 boss. I didn't like that at all. I think boss are so powerful in this matchup, especially after you take that first 1 prize knockout. Because after you take that first 1 prize knockout, and there's another 1 prizer in play, especially because there was the B-Barrel in play when the Greninja got KO'd. You're like, okay, KO this 1 prizer. Now I have with these bosses orders, I can threaten the V Pokemon before they become V-Stars and V-Maxes. Also, I have bosses to be able to boss up the other 1 prizer anyways. So, yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan of that. Am I back in the chat? I got disconnected from the chat for a second. I think I'm back. Wait. Are you still there, chat? Someone say something in chat so I know I'm not... Okay, there we go. Yeah, what's up, newbie? Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I got disconnected for... I don't know. How long have I been disconnected from chat? A couple minutes. That's weird. All right. Thinning out the deck of the Drapion. So this is what I was talking about on Charlie's side. It's like... also, I was talking about on Nicolo's side. No, my chat thing was spinning. Like, the thing was said I was disconnected. Disconnected from reality? Yeah, probably. No, it wasn't because no one was saying anything. It was because the little thing was spinning in the bottom corner saying I was disconnected. See, like, Nicolo had to punch the Lugia anyways. So that's why I was like, I don't know how much I actually even liked that boss KO on Luminian from Nicolo. Like, punching the Lugia might have just been better on that previous turn, to be honest. All right, there goes the punch, and we discard the path. So Charlie is... To be honest, Charlie just loses the prize trade from here. Like, Nicolo can just go... And Nicolo can, like, run away for a little while. Like, Nicolo can retreat this Arceus to this Arceus. This Arceus KOs Lugia, goes down to 2. And then at that point, I honestly, Charlie maybe should have retreated this Lugia this turn into the other Lugia. And I think Charlie could have. I think Charlie should have retreated to the other Lugia this turn and then hoped that Nicolo doesn't get the Choice Band or the Defiance Band or the Choice Belt. Because the more time you give Niccolo, the higher chance that Niccolo will have it. Or even attack with the Snorlax to put Niccolo on odd prize cards. Yeah, I think Charlie should have just attacked with anything that's not the active Lugia here. I think attacking with the active Lugia here is probably the worst thing that Charlie could have attacked with. I think almost everything is better. Second B-Barrel? We're cooking? Oh, shoot. The draw power's coming up. Has an Ultra Ball as well to continue to thin out the deck. Could bench another V here. It wouldn't be terrible because you could evolve it because your active is already getting KO'd anyways. If it gets boss. But I'm assuming Niccolo is going to retreat here to the other Arceus to make it harder for Charlie to do anything on the turn. Especially while you have like this last path to potentially slow down the Weird Ear one-hit KO. You appreciate the 5 months there, Justin. Which Kyogre version is better? Zam or Dragonite? It depends what else is popular in the format. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, there's the hard retreat. Run to the other Arceus. Punch with that Arceus. Make Charlie work harder. See, that's the thing. I like this from Nico. This is like literally, they're not playing the same deck. They're not in the exact same situation. But like Nicolo's like, you know what? You're going to have to... Well, Charlie does only have one boss left. But still... But if Charlie has boss KO this Arceus and then can just load a bunch of energy and go replace Stadium plus one hit KO, like if Charlie just retreats here and attacks with this Lugia, and then Niccolo still has to do this exact same play but doesn't get the one hit KO, because now Niccolo can go knockout for 2 into slacking boss, or if you attack with Lugia, just knock out the active with the choice bell for 2. But now Charlie can just go, but now Niccolo can always win. First. But if Charlie just has the boss KO on this Arceus, can go boss KO this Arceus with this Lugia, again, if these both had damage then, and then next turn just go all in for the Weird Ear and Weird Ear 1-hit KO whatever the active is. But see, Nicolo's doing the right play where like Nicolo's making Charlie work as hard as possible for the knockouts. And both players have the flexibility to do that. Charlie definitely could have retreated this Lugia to the other Lugia, attacked with the other Lugia to make Niccolo work harder for this KO. And Niccolo is doing that. Nicolo's like, I'm going to retreat this Arceus to this Arceus, and now you might have to attack an extra turn this game. But Charlie's just like not making Niccolo work at all in this game and just giving up the knockouts and letting Niccolo set up a board state where the prize trade is favorable. And then, this might be correct from Charlie. Yeah, you probably have to, well, I don't know. Slacking's not even knocking this out. You need boss here as Charlie. Charlie either needs to boss KO, Charlie needs to go boss KO or Weird Ear KO, I think. I think Charlie should go boss KO or Weird Ear. Oh, no, wait, you can't Weird Ear KO. Wait, no, Niccolo has 2 prizes left. You can't Weird Ear KO. Oh, no, you can Weird Ear KO the slacking. Could you do that? You don't have the V-Guard anymore. I guess you can't even do that. No, so you have to go, Charlie actually has to go slacking boss KO the Arceus. But last turn definitely should have retreated to the other Lugia. Because then if Niccolo doesn't have boss, Niccolo's just punching into another full HP Lugia. So there is the Luminian grab from Charlie, but now Charlie just loses the boss if the Luminian goes into play. I don't think there's anything Charlie can really do about it, to be honest. Like, you kind of just have to do it. Because punching the active is just not good enough here for Charlie. Charlie has to go for the boss KO on the bench Arceus with the Snorlax. The other play Charlie honestly could do, which would be interesting, Charlie could go boss KO the B-Barrel with the Snorlax. You go down to 2 prize cards, which means Niccolo could send up BDIF for a turn to stall, and even make it a B-Barrel and stall for a turn. But it would take away the draw power from Niccolo. It's probably not worth it. We're gonna forget about that line of play, to be honest. Yeah, so Charlie has to go boss KO Arceus here, and then I think next turn go for the Weird Ear 1-hit KO. I guess the play here from, but goes with the Iono. See, this is just not good enough. Punching the active here from Charlie is just not good enough. This is just not good enough. There's so much time here from Niccolo now. This is exactly what Charlie could have done by retreating to the other Lugia on the last turn. But now Niccolo's created another turn to play the game. Now definitely gets to play the game for another turn. Did just top deck the Serena. Doesn't have to play it yet, though. Could just KO the active and look for a boss KO on an Archeops. I was talking about, like, I think Niccolo should have benched the Arceus V out of the deck. When Niccolo played the Ultra Ball in the last turn, could have got Arceus V and benched it, but chose not to. I think Niccolo should have done that. I think Niccolo should have benched the other Arceus V next turn. Because that way, if you draw into the Arceus V star, you can play that as well. And also, the Arceus V becomes 1 less Pokemon for you to draw into. And the reason it was fine to do it on the last turn as Niccolo is because you already have this damaged Arceus V star on your bench. Same thing with the damaged Arceus V. They both or full HP Arceus V. They both could get boss KO'd. So it's not a new liability. Basically, it's just like a copy of the same liability in play. So I think Niccolo should have benched the Arceus V that is now in the hand. It's kind of funny because Niccolo has the Arceus V in the V star. If this V was in play, Niccolo would see +1 card and then could also evolve this V to the V star and then draw more cards off the B barrel. So definitely a mistake there from Niccolo. Gutch goes with the Serena to draw though. That seems fine. For the situation, that seems fine. Maybe should have used the B barrel first. Draw 2, thin out more. No, it always makes sense to play it this way. I don't know what I'm thinking. So this is fine. And then has another Ultra Ball for another B-Barrel. Is thinking about what to keep, I guess. You maybe keep the Charon's Care. You definitely keep the Defiance Band, I think, right? Yeah, you definitely keep the Defiance Band just in case. Well, no, you're going down to 1 prize card as Nicolo here, so you could have discarded that, to be honest. But you're just looking for boss here as Nicolo to win the game on the next turn on Archeops. Now this game is basically just like all but over, I feel like. I feel like Nicolo's just going to win. Defiance Band, I don't know, throw it somewhere. I don't think it matters because you're going down to 1 prize as Nicolo, so it's never going to trigger anymore. So it literally just doesn't matter. Second B-Barrel for 4. I think kept the Charon's Care is what Nicolo kept, right? I guess that makes the most sense. It seems like it might have the most value, most potential value. Is it? Does it? I don't know. Double turbo to Arceus, and then already played a supporter, so just pass, I guess. Or not pass, knockout. We definitely want the knockout, I think, here, to look for the boss on the next turn. Yeah, nothing else to do. Has the Jet for next turn for the slacking. And if you find the choice belt here as well from Nicolo, then you do win the game with the slacking on the Lugia, which is what Charlie has to attack with. Charlie has to attack with. There's also escape rope in hand as well. Escape rope also works here. Slacking plus escape rope. I don't even know if there's anything to bench here from Charlie that actually works. Nothing survives, right? No. So you have to like get the KO with Lugia here as Charlie and hope that the choice belt or a boss is just not found. But the chance of that happening with 2 B-Barrel in play is basically 0. I wonder if Charlie's best win condition is maybe just boss up a B-Barrel and pass. Like, there's no good win condition. I actually don't even know if I like the Iono from here. From Charlie. I don't know what else would Charlie do. I don't know what the rest of the hand was. The reason I don't like the Iono is like when you play Iono here as Charlie, you guarantee the first B-Barrel to see 3 cards. Actually, how does that math work? Because Nicolo could just have the game in hand, but Nicolo's hand could just be a bunch of dead cards. But if you Iono Nicolo to 2, it's impossible for that hand of cards to be a bunch of dead cards and not be able to draw off B-Barrel. So because that's a factor that can no longer be applied to the hand, because B-Barrel at the very least will always be able to draw 3 cards, does that make sense to just leave Nicolo with the 6-card hand and be like, well, if they are all dead cards that you can't play, then you possibly get stuck with that hand. And then, but that's not a variable once you play Iono. But I guess the 2 cards you could draw off the Iono plus the top deck could be dead, and the first B-Barrel could draw you 3 dead cards, and then you could be stuck anyway. So maybe it's the same thing. I actually don't know. I think it's probably correct to Iono, because theoretically, the more time you have to work with the hand, the better the hand gets sculpted to be able to utilize for the win condition as well, I guess. Yeah. Also, how does slacking work? If you have exactly 2, 4, 6 prize cards remaining, this Pokemon can't attack. Oh, so now it just can attack because we're at 1 prize card. There's the knockout. Bumps the path. Does it make sense to bump the path or not bump the path? And there's the boss on the Archeops. So yeah, I think it's pretty well played there from Nicolo. The only real thing I questioned there from Nicolo was that boss on the Luminion versus trying to protect your V Pokemon on the bench. I kind of like the idea of Nicolo protecting the V Pokemon on the bench that turn, going for like Melanie plus V-Guard plus Punch Active. I kind of like that a little bit more. I thought I could attack under path. Yeah, but the path was getting bumped from Charlie that turn. Yeah, I think Charlie just on the second turn of the game, the research getting rid of 2 bosses, I think was a really bad play from Charlie. I think if Charlie had the boss's orders to work with throughout the rest of the game there, I think Charlie would have been in a way better spot. And then we saw in game 1, Charlie did not abuse did not think about trying to abuse Weird Ear as much as he possibly could throughout the game. And we saw in that game, I guess Nicolo respected the Weird Ear a little bit more, which is good to see as well. Always putting the paths in play, having the backup attacker of the Gyarados potentially or the Snorlax to answer the Weird Ear. And also the V-Guard energy got dealt with like pretty early as well, so that wasn't like a threat later on as the game went. But you still had the slacking there as well. So yeah, pretty well played from Nicolo, but definitely not great from Charlie. Colorless, Lugia Mirror. Is that our second one? I think it's our second one of the day. They both have Luxray though. To be honest, I've never really my extent of the Colorless Lugia Mirror has always been with one person having Luxray, and I've never gone really too in depth on both people having Luxray. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out, to be honest. The only other real differences, I think, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Alexander does not play the Charizard, and Dorian does not have the Weird Ears, but does have the Charizard. So no Weird Ear for Dorian. And I actually maybe think that does give an advantage to Alexander, because now Alexander can get a 1-hit KO on a Lugia V-Star without having to use Luxray, and can't be 1-hit KO'd back. Unless Dorian wanted to use a Mew, but could always 2-hit KO. But depending on what point it goes for a 1-hit KO, the Charizard could get the return KO. Because I don't really think you want to. Well, maybe think of. Dude, I'm sure I have to get into this one. This one I don't want to think too much ahead, to be honest. I had zero clue how to play this as well. Yeah, once both people have Luxray, things get really weird. I feel like, for sure. I feel like you're never not drawing prize cards. I think maybe with the Weird Ear in the mirror. Double Luminion start is also not great. Maybe with the Weird Ear in the mirror, I think it does open up more lines for Alexander, where Alexander can now go like chase KO the Archeops and then go set up the Weird Ear afterwards. Like that's like a line Alexander could look for. Might be tough to do, but that is like a possibility. And obviously double Fish Start is bad for both players, but it's definitely worse for Dorian because Dorian's going second. We already got the Jet into the active. I don't see any Archeops in the hand there for Alexander, but does have the research. Then over to Dorian. The Great Balls are online. Dude, I swear Alexander played a Great Ball against me, but I played against another Colorless Lugia who probably played a Great Ball against me, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't Alexander because Alexander doesn't play Great Ball, but for some reason I thought Alexander was playing Great Ball. Got the Lugia V here for Dorian, which is the start. You gotta get the Lugia V first. And then I can't tell if there's a draw supporter in that hand. There's some bosses. Thinking about the double turbo. I don't love the double turbo to the Lugia this early, though. Yeah, just boss on the Luminion pass. So really bad start for Dorian. But like I said, I don't think Alexander had any Archeops. That might be an Archeops behind the collapse there, to be honest. Attach active. Maybe there isn't a research. Dude, is it just going to be a read the wind? Is it read the wind off? I swear there's a research in that hand, though. Oh, there is a research in that hand. What does Alexander think about it? Slam that research. He's thinking about not playing the research? Just read the... Wait. Dude, that's a research, right? Well, now I'm second... That's a research, right? That is a research. Why are we not... What are we holding here as Alexander? So, Dorian had a slow turn. But it doesn't mean Dorian isn't just going to top deck research, discard 2 Archeops, and then one-hit KO your Lugia, though, right? I want to believe that's not a research, but I don't believe it. The reversal? I don't think the reversal is worth holding, though, to just lose the game next turn, though. Like, I think going for the knockout this turn as Alexander is always the better play here. Just go for the knockout, get the 2 prize cards. Even if Luxray swings back and gets 2 prize cards back, you can go into Snorlaxes from there or something. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this play from Alexander at all. I think we should just research and just swing. Look for the swing. Yeah, it could theoretically just be a top deck away from Dorian from just like literally there's 2 Archeops in Dorian's hand. If Dorian top decks Luminion, Research, Ultra Ball, Dorian just wins the game, like on the spot. Literally just wins on the spot. I don't like that. Yeah, I think it's like way super unnecessary for Alexander. Because basically Alexander is playing this turn. So the problem with this play is Alexander is playing this turn like Dorian is going to dead draw next turn. But if Alexander gets Lugia V-Star this turn and gets 1 Archeops, even just 1 Archeops and playing KO's the active, and Dorian dead draws next turn, you just win as Alexander. But if Dorian doesn't dead draw, then you just lose as Alexander if Dorian top decks here. So this play never makes any sense from Alexander. It never makes any sense at all to make this play from Alexander. You should always just go the aggressive route because when you go this route, you're playing like Dorian's going to dead draw. But if you set up and Dorian dead draws, you're still winning the game. So you may as well also just be set up in case Dorian sets up. And then just be able to do something. So now we see the boss again from Dorian. All right, 6 strats. And then we see a Read the Wind finally for 3. Does have some stuff to cook with right now. But it can get really bad here really quickly. Actually, it's an interesting choice. Actually, that might be an Ultra Ball in hand from Alexander, which makes this not an interesting choice because Alexander just KOs the active Lugia here. And then, honestly, as Dorian, I would pick it up and go next. Yeah. Yeah, I think Alexander literally was just overvaluing the reversal energy there. But if you get the first 2 prize cards as well as Alexander, you can't use your thing anyways. If Dorian KO, can't Alexander do the Luxray shenanigans? Well, you can, but then it's just a 2 for 2. The reason that the Luxray is good is because if you get like a 1 prize knockout, if it's just a 2 for 2, it doesn't matter. If you just go 2 for 2 and then Dorian goes into Snorlaxes for the rest of the game, you still win the prize trade as Dorian. So the Luxray only matters when it gets you back ahead in the prize exchange. It doesn't just matter. Just attacking with Luxray doesn't just win you the game. But yeah, here's a Lugia from Alexander. So I think Dorian should probably just concede. I wouldn't even wait for a top deck here. Well, you could wait to see if Alexander messes up. Like if Alexander by accident puts a double turbo on the Lugia, I'd wait for that. Yeah, I would wait to see if Alexander by accident puts just like muscle memory throws a double turbo on the Lugia, which does happen a lot. You do put it on there a lot, so. As soon as this comes down, though, I would just concede. And the Jet, okay. And then right here as Dorian, I think I would just concede. I don't know. You have a lot of time. What is the chance of a comeback here, though? It's like not happening. It's not happening tier. Yeah, wait to see if he does the double turbo, just like forgets about it. Boxing takes the wrong energy, muscle memory, whatever's fine. Yeah, there's a concede. Love to see it. I mean, you do have a lot of time, so you don't like concede. You don't. I guess you don't have to concede here, but I would also just like move on. Like, just like I guess like you could also think about it as just like as Dorian, you're going to be the one who's under more. I mean, this is like going a little bit far to the point where this probably doesn't even matter, but like you're under more mental stress, mental pressure as Dorian to like come up with the best play in the situation. Whereas like Alexander can literally just like misplay 10 times from this point on and still win, right? So may as well conserve your mental energy, I guess you could think about it like to just like conserve your mental energy and just concede the game. I don't hate the idea of that. Like that's like you can apply that as like a reason, I think, reasonably. So the prize cards, Dorian did prize double collapse, which is not good. But one of them is in the first two prize cards, so could possibly get that before it matters, but it's possible your Illuminating gets boss KO'd before you find your first collapse now as Dorian, which would not be good. And start is fine. Ideally, you want to Ultra Ball some Archeops into the discard pile as Dorian here, just in case you get Iono'd, but attach pass is all it is. Alexander does have double Ultra Ball in hand, so I think double Archeops are in the discard pile here for Alexander. But there is a whatever that thing is called, Drapion in the active, which is not good for Alexander. That's pretty much as bad as it gets. Oh, there's a Burnett in the hand here as well for Alexander. So Alexander could just Burnett. There's a Burnett. And I honestly don't know if Alexander needs to do anything else. I'd probably just hold the hand. Do some prize checking. The Luxray's in there, the Reversal's in there. Because you can save these Ultra Balls to actually go get the Luxray next turn. And then, like, this would be where you'd want to respond with the Luxray. Even though it still doesn't put you ahead in the prize exchange, it, like, does. You get to use it. But then if Dorian just, like, goes, like, Snorlax, like, knock this out, and then Snorlax to a KO this, and then boss Snorlax, you do win. The one problem with the situation, though, was, like, this is when Dorian would want to have the possibility of Weird Ear, because then if Lugia punches and you punch it with a Snorlax and it retreats and gets collapsed, then that's not good. But if Lumini never hits the bench, then there's still like going to be A2 pressure on the bench here. Yeah, I guess I can also see that there is maybe value in setting up two Lugias in this matchup. But I think off this Ultra Ball here from Alexander, you're always going for the V-Star. Which then there's just no point in playing the Ultra Balls Alexander. Because then you could top deck... This just makes no sense from Alexander. Because you could top deck Luxray, or you could top deck... Alexander could top deck the Lugia or top deck Luxray and then Ultra Ball for the other one next turn. So I don't think it ever makes any sense for Alexander to do that. And there's the attach for the Lugia and then the pass. All right. See if Dorian actually has a... There is Archeops in hand. I think there is an Ultra Ball as well. Nope. But there's a Research. That works as well. Does not put Mezagoza in play. I'm pretty sure it's just a mistake from Dorian. Because you could put the Mezagoza in play, use it, and then bump it. So I'm pretty sure it's a mistake from Dorian. Unless Dorian wants to attack with the Snorlax here. But I'm pretty sure you just want the two prize cards here as Dorian. And then you just want to set up Snorlaxes behind this Lugia. You just want a bunch of Snorlaxes. So should have put the Mezagoza in play to try and find Snorlaxes. And then here you can get... I mean, you probably should... I don't know, does saving the V-Guard matter? I don't even know if saving the V-Guard matters here. I don't think so. The only other thing I was thinking about there for Dorian would be like if you wanted to use Collapse this turn, but did prize double Collapse, which is definitely something you should take note of when you check prize cards. And then also... Yeah, so goes with the V-Guard immediately. I feel like there's probably value in saving the V-Guard, though. Potentially. Here comes an Ultra Ball. I'm not sure I like this Ultra Ball, though. Gets rid of the Great Ball. I think I would like to have seen the Great Ball first to try and get a Snorlax, and then Ultra Ball for another Snorlax. So I don't love this, but I don't know what the rest of the hand was, to be honest. I do like this load up, though, on the Snorlax. Yeah, thin out the deck of the energy. Just get it set up as possible. Once again, increasing your odds of good top decks. You also have the gift energy here as Dorian. So, like, if your Lugia's not going down, then that's chill. And if it does go down, then you have the gift to draw a card. So, from Dorian, I definitely would like to have seen the Great Ball get played here. I'm curious as to what the other cards in the hand are, though, to be honest. We'll see. There's a Research and 3 energy. Could have Ultra Ball away the Research and played the Great Ball, to be honest. Or could have got rid of one of the energies. No way to boss KO? No, Research got played. Yo, what's up, Jesse? Appreciate it. All right, there's a Lugia from Alexander. And here comes the chops. We can load up some energy on this active Lugia before the research. So this is like the turn where, as Alexander, you want the Luxray play here. The top 8 looks so rough for Ogre. Yeah, it's definitely, the colorless Lugs are tough, for sure. And honestly, the Gyarados deck probably would have also been pretty tough. I don't know. Colorless Lugia is probably a little bit tougher. Still winnable, though. I mean, I guess they have Judge, too, though. The Judges are going to be annoying, too. You just can't KO anything, man. Everything's got so much HP. From Alexander here, I would like to have seen a couple energy get loaded up on the active here, because I think you want to increase your odds of seeing the Luxray here. This is you don't want to punch this Lugia, because then you're not going to be able to get value to the full value of your Luxray. So, from Alexander here, I'd like to see one Archeops get used, and then if you hit the Luxray, you either bench it and attach the reversal from hand, or you use the second Archeops to get the reversal and put the energy on it. Yeah, you do bench Manaphy against Colorless Lugia. Otherwise, they're just gonna... and they can like accelerate the game too much by using Mew. Even if they put Mew in play and you return KO the Mew, they usually can accelerate the game too much. There is the Ultra Ball there for Alexander as well. So we're going to see a Snorlax off of this Nest Ball. And then we should see the Ultra Ball for the Lugia, or the Luxray. And then reversal to the Luxray. Energy maybe to the active to retreat. Get rid of the Lugia. And keeping the research over the Iono. It doesn't really matter too much. But there's the 2 Jet in hand. I almost want to see the Iono get kept to shuffle the energy back in the deck. There's the Luxray. Luxray comes down. Could attach Jet active to retreat. I want to see Alexander accelerate a decent amount of energy into play here. Reversal to Luxray. I guess you could Jet up the Luxray. I guess jetting up the Luxray does conserve your energy, right? But Jets up the Archeops. It's kind of the same thing. Not really, though. You may as well just Jet the Luxray, right? There's no reason not to Jet the Luxray here, right? You're just losing the energy no matter what, so it may as well just be on the Luxray. Yeah, you should always just Jet to the Luxray here. I'm like trying to think if there's any reason, but no, there's no reason. There's no reason. It should always be there. Single Strike Lug was fine for Ogre, I felt, but not close. Nah, Lugias in general are always just favored again. Lugia is just tough for... Listen, Lugia is just really hard to beat. If the Lugia player plays well, it's really hard for Lost Box. And like my tournament record against Lugia as like 2 prize Lost Box is like... Honestly, I don't know if I ever lost to a Lugia as... No, I did. I think I might be like 7-1 against Lugia as like pre-colorless Lugia. Against single strike Lugia, I think I might be 7-1. But I also think it's like a 60-40 matchup in their favor, maybe more. Like it's pretty bad when it's played well. Like every time we test it, Lugia always like dominates. Like whenever me and my team test Lugia against Lost Box, it's like 5-2 or something like that. But my tournament record's pretty good. But my tournament record with any deck is going to be better than what the actual matchup is, so it's pretty bad. Pretty sure this next turn from you is played pretty poorly. All right, we'll focus up. Because you suck at the Lost Box? Wait, no, that makes no sense. I said my tournament record against Lugia is like 7-1 as Lost Box. Like I'm like 7-1 against Lugia as Lost Box. It might not be... I played against a lot of Lugia's Lost Box, and I've beaten the majority of them. Like it's at least like a 3-to-1 ratio of wins to losses. But I think it's still an unfavorable matchup. I think, yeah, the only Lugia I remember is I lost like round 1 of Milwaukee to a Lugia. But then I think I've beaten every other... I think I've literally beaten every other... That's the only Lugia I remember losing to. Yeah. But I still think it's a bad matchup. All right, Lugia goes down. Dorian is ahead in the prize exchange. I actually don't know what you do here. Single strike Lugia can't beat Escape Rope. True. Well, I think Lost Box against the... that's not single strike Lugia. That's Broken Lugia. I think Broken Lugia and Lost Box was a pretty close matchup. But that's different. Single strike Lugia, I think, has always been like vastly favored. Or Lugia in general. Post Broken Lugia. So what do we do from here? So our Lugia goes down to Luxray. So theoretically for Dorian, you could just go Snorlax Knockout, which is fine. You could go Boss KO and Archeops with Snorlax, which is also fine. Boss Punch Lugia seems bad here from Dorian. If you go KO and Archeops, then the Luxray... See, there's also this like inefficient energy in play here from Alexander, I feel like. Maybe it's not that bad. If you boss around it, the Luxray gets to attack again. You don't really want Luxray to be able to attack again. So I think Dorian should probably just KO the Luxray here. That'd be my guess is probably the best player from Dorian. Just like KO Luxray, set up more Snorlaxes. The one thing that can get weird is because Dorian doesn't play Weird Ear, and I don't know if Alexander knows that. Alexander next turn can attack with Lugia. You know, set up the triple Snorlax on the bench. Whatever, get some Snorlaxes in play. You don't need 3 of them. Whatever, get some Snorlaxes. Attack with Lugia. Dorian punches Lugia. Then Alexander retreats the Lugia or gets it to the bench and then collapses it away. And then at that point, if we're just going Snorlax for Snorlax at that point between Dorian and Alexander, Alexander just wins. So, like, that's where it'll get weird from here, to be honest. Is that the Lugia can be collapsed away. But if Dorian did play Weird Ear, I think Dorian just wins the trade at this point. Because Dorian just goes, set up a bunch of Snorlax. If you ever attack with your Lugia, I respond with Weird Ear, and then I boss KO 1 prizers to win the game from there or something. But it's also possible that it might not be possible for Alexander. After Dorian takes enough prize cards, it might not be possible for Alexander to keep his bench full to collapse away the Lugia without putting a Luminion or another Lugia V in. Well, putting another Lugia V in play actually wouldn't be a big deal because it can't get 1 KO'd. But no, the Radiant Charizard could KO'd at the end of the game. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We need some more Snorlaxes here, though, for Dorian. No Snorlaxes. There is the Mew. There's triple boss there as well. A lot of boss. We need more Snorlax, though. We need Lax. There's an Ultra Ball, though. That can get 1. Giving up 2 energy, though? There's 2 stadiums in hand, isn't there? Also, like, this is what I was talking about with, like, I really feel like Dorian should have prioritized keeping, in the last hand, Dorian really should have prioritized keeping the Great Ball to use that to try and find more Snorlaxes before Ultra Balling for a Snorlax, and giving up the research, because we're theoretically going to draw prize cards, or draw cards off the gift search. So if we had double Snorlax here, Dorian would be in a way better spot. But now we're Ultra Balling away 2 energy? This is so much energy to go. This is an insane amount of energy to go now, though. I don't know if I like this. We do still have... why not grab Muted Discard? That's a good point. We should have grabbed Muted Discard there for sure. Not the Luminion. Oh, no. This is not... I do not like this at all from... And is going for the Chops boss. I was just talking about this play. I just don't know how... I don't know if this is a good or a bad play. It's a bad play, though, if Alexander has boss. Because then Alexander just boss KOs your Luminion. And then Alexander, like, always wins the prize trade, I feel like. Yeah, I think you definitely should have... You should have gone... off the Great Ball, take the Mew, Ultra Ball for another Snorlax. Although, to be honest, you do want to try and keep the Mew. I guess you don't really need the Mew as an answer to Weird Ear. You have the Radiant Zard to answer Weird Ear. Yeah, and then you put another energy on this Snorlax, and then one on the bench. The one on the bench Archeops isn't terrible. I don't hate that. But the one on the active is not good here. That's like another energy to lose. There's like going down too many energy too fast now. There's a knockout. But now the Luxray is just reactivated for Alexander here, and can just go boss KO Luminion. I think you should definitely attack with Luxray here as Alexander while you can. Like, if you can do it, you should attack with it, I feel like. I don't hate the idea of attacking with Lugia. But see, once again, I don't know if Alexander knows. I don't know if Alexander knows that Dorian does not have Weird Ear. So you really don't want to attack with Lugia V-Star here if there is a Weird Ear, I don't think. Well, unless you're actually KOing the Luminion. If you KO Luminion here and the response is Weird Ear, then you just win the game by KOing the Weird Ear with your own Weird Ear as Alexander. Looks like Alexander is going to go for a Snorlax load up here. And I imagine we want to go boss KO Luminion here as Alexander. Yep. Just going to go for the prize race. This does allow Dorian to respond, though, with boss KO Lugia with Luxray. And there's the reversal, but I don't see an out to the Luxray. If there is a top deck. Oh, you'd also need boss here as well. You need a little bit more, actually. That's never happened. It's another energy, though, which is great. Actually, I don't even know how many energy Dorian has left. There's none in the deck. No, there's one. One double turbo? It might just be one double turbo left. That's not looking good. Not looking good for Dorian. So what do you do here? You KO Snorlax. Okay, hold up. So we can play for that still, though, right? But we have the reversal in hand, which sucks for Dorian. So Dorian needs to play Collapse this turn, attach a gift energy to this Archeops, I guess. And then play for the reversal KO to close out the game, actually. Ooh, okay, that's actually a cool play that can come up here. Okay, that's kind of cool. So actually, if we could have gone gift on all 3 Pokemon in play as Dorian, Dorian should do that. Put a gift on every Pokemon. If there was a gift in the deck there, yeah, we should have played an energy out of hand here for sure, so Dorian would draw 1 more card off the active gift if the active gets KO'd. But if Dorian could have put a... If Dorian could have put a gift on both Archeops there, which I don't know if it was possible or not. I don't know where the... No, 1 gift was already used, so we couldn't do that. We should have at least played an energy out of hand. So you would draw more cards off of... Also, if you get Iono'd here as Dorian, you would draw more cards as well. Yeah, because when Alexander draws a prize card here, Alexander still has the Lugia V-Star in play that could get killed by a Luxray. But Dorian does need boss... What does Dorian need here? Boss, Luxray, Reversal. Has the Reversal in hand. Doesn't have either of the other pieces. And now it's not drawing that many energy off Gift. Alexander actually goes for the load up on the bench. Oh, it's a Snorlax. I thought it was an Archeops. I was so confused for a second. What is Alexander attacking with here, though? The Lugia? Alexander shouldn't attack with Lugia here, right? This is like another reason that Alexander should have attacked with the Luxray 2 turns ago, right? This is another reason that Alexander should have attacked with the Luxray 2 turns ago. Because if Alexander attacked with the Luxray 2 turns ago, you just maybe have 2 more Snorlaxes to work with. The energy of the Archeops seems fine. Oh my gosh. No! There's just... Oh. Alright, so yeah, Alexander already announced it. Oh, Alexander should just not be attacking with Lugia here at all. So this attack choice in general is not good, but does do it. Maybe assumes Dorian doesn't have the Luxray. But yeah, not a great attack choice there from Alexander. Alexander definitely should have retreated, attacked with Snorlax, and then used Lugia to get the last one. But yeah, because you initiated the attack, though, you're in it. You're locked in. There's the Luxray top deck from Dorian. So for Dorian to win here, Dorian just needs to 2-hit KO this Lugia. The Collapse Stadium is still in play, so the Lugia can't be collapsed away. So all Dorian needs to do is attack this thing twice with the Snorlax, or Snorlax into Archeops, and the game is over. Yeah, load up the gift on the Archeops, and you have 2 attacking options here, and then just punch, but does need a boss. Dorian does need a boss next turn. But because of all the energy being in the hand here for Dorian, Dorian can't do anything else besides just punch. Now for Alexander, it's retreat, punch, and hope Dorian doesn't have boss, and then punch again next turn. Has Jet in hand, so it can jet something up. I'd probably just jet up the Snorlax and attack with Snorlax, right? Yeah, I don't see there's anything else to do here as Alexander. Iono doesn't make any sense here either, I don't think. It's just going with the hard retreat now? I guess you could keep the jet to make sure your Snorlax doesn't get stuck asleep. That would actually be a play to keep your jet, actually. Okay, keeping your jet actually makes sense. I always forget about Snorlax like falling asleep, because usually Snorlax just like dies or you have a therapy energy on it. But this makes more sense. All right, make sure you... There's some other cards here that Alexander could have played as well to burn cards. You should have put the Mezagoza in play, but could have used Archeops, maybe used the Capturing Aroma. Okay, there's a gift draw from Dorian, but it's not boss. Top deck is Mezagoza. Mezagoza for Luminium for boss. That's what it comes down to, I guess. Tails. The Luxray's there. The Reversal's there. Dorian has 2 prize cards left, though. Oh, gotta go with the Snorlax to wake up. I guess Dorian... The Snorlax is asleep, so Dorian could just Iono here. I don't know if Dorian has an Iono. Dorian could Iono, bench Luxray, attach Reversal, Iono, hopefully get the boss for next turn, and then, yeah, hope that Alexander's Snorlax does not wake up. There could be a therapeutic energy left, of course, and there's nothing you can really do about that. I also don't even know if there's an Iono in hand here for Dorian. It doesn't look like it, to be honest. There's a Research, some energy, a Collapse Stadium. Yep. And yeah, there's the jet in hand, so there's nothing really here for Dorian to do, I don't think. I think, yeah, this game is just over, because Alexander did conserve the jet energy there. There's an energy left in the deck for Dorian, so definitely will be able to retreat the bench Archeops if that got bossed. So I'm sure that's what Dorian was just making sure. I think it's just going to be a Research and then hope for the boss next turn. But we all know Alexander's got the jet in hand, so I think it's a formality at this point. We're just going to go ahead and skip ahead. There's the jet up. Iono. All right. Oh, okay. Alexander's doing this the hard way, and then Archeops to get the double turbo off the bottom of the deck. Isn't even thinking about just retreating. All right, sure. And Alexander gets the last KO finally. I was like, all right, we can go the long. I saw what Alexander was thinking there. Alexander forgot that you know could retreat and attack with Snorlax again, right? Like that would work. That would work, yeah. Did it the long way, but gets the dub in the end. What matters at the end of the day for sure is if you get the dub or not. All right, let's get into it. We got our finals here. We got Alexander with the Colorless Slug. We did just see this matchup from Charlie versus Nicolo, and there was definitely some throws. Charlie did not play great, that's for sure. Charlie did not play great. The only real difference here is that There is the Luxray here for Alexander, and I believe the Gyarados is weak to lightning, right? So the Gyarados, but it can't even get, dude, the Luxray doesn't even one-hit KO the Gyarados, so it's still a 2-hit KO on the Gyarados. I guess you could one-hit KO the Gyarados V, but that's about it, though. All right. Go ahead and we'll see. Gyarados is prized. A stadium is prized for Alexander, which isn't great. You got to deal with the paths, but there's a path prized. Snorlax prized. So the prize cards on both sides. I guess the Gyarados might be the biggest thing that's prized here, to be honest, because that is like one of the answers to Weirdeer. Slacking is less of a good answer to Weirdeer, or you can even try to set up Slacking and Giratina, because once again, the Weirdeer is going to be the focus here. Should be the focus here from Alexander. Get the Weirdeer set up. One-hit KO. Wait, 180. Oh wait, it's 180. I thought it was 160. Luxray hits for 180. Okay, never mind. It does 1-hit KO the Gyarados. Take it back. I thought it was 160. Never mind. All right, we do have Alexander going first here. And the chops are already hitting the discard pile, but only going to be one chop hitting the discard pile. The other card is a Jet. And in this situation, for Alexander, you do want to look for that 4 non-double turbo energy to the Lugia. And it looks like Alexander's hand is not great because he's already thinking about going for a Luminion here. That's what was initially put to the front of the deck, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what the Ultra Ball grabs. But you do potentially want to go ahead and grab and use Luminion immediately because you are playing around Nicolo's Path to the Peak. Which is what I assume is why Alexander is going for the Luminion. We see another Nest Ball here. Second Lugia. 2 Lugias did pretty good in this matchup, I think, overall. You're going like kind of back and forth with hits. Then also has a Gift Energy in hand is something else. I don't know what the other card in hand is. Oh, but doesn't play the Luminion. Okay, now I'm curious as to what the rest of the hand is. This is also like an interesting situation. Alexander in the hand might have a Stadium. So maybe the Luminion will be live even if Path happens. Heavy Ball coming in from Nicolo. Another Arceus off the prize cards. And gets to fully check the prize cards there. Knows the Gyarados is prized now. Won't be like an immediate card to take advantage of. Yeah, I lost to Alexander in top 8. As an escape rope. Is that triple Arceus in hand? Oh, it's Slacking. Do we bench the Slacking here for Nicolo? He's attaching to the... I think you got to draw some cards here, right? And then is it just Serena Way 3, draw 5? I think it is, right? Honestly, the escape rope is pretty good here, though, from Nicolo. I think I would have liked to have seen Nicolo play the escape rope. Why wouldn't you play the escape rope here? You would have forced up the Lugia that doesn't have an energy on it into the active, which I think, like, if you get Path here and Alexander, so this, yeah, I think it's a mistake. If Nicolo just ends up discarding but is going to keep it, just going to draw 3? Bro, that feels like so few cards to draw here. And now the hand is dead for Nicolo. To be honest, I feel like you just ditched the whole hand, bro. I feel like you get rid of you got to draw more cards than that. You definitely need to draw 4 cards. 3 cards is too few. We definitely want to see 4 cards here. I think we want to see the full 5 cards here. And if we're going to see the full 5 cards here, we may as well play the escape rope. So Nicolo probably should have started the turn by playing the escape rope, send up the other Arceus, and then, because it is a possibility that if you get Path here, you know Alexander does have a Luminion in hand, but if Alexander's hand is dead besides the Luminion, if you get Path here as Nicolo, then you can go Path, and then now that there's not a Lugia in the active with an energy, maybe Alexander can't even use Read the Wind next turn to get out of the dead draw, and then just loses because of that. Yeah, I think Nicolo should have just like ditched the whole hand, just been like, we need cards here. We need to see some cards here. Now we have no cards here. We could still push up oh, wait, the Slacking push-up is kind of clean though, right? Because the Slacking doesn't get KO'd. Wait, the Slacking... Well, now the Slacking push-up is way better because there's a switch in hand. Yeah, there's no Pumpkaboo. Because now Slacking actually doesn't die to Lugia, which is kind of sick. But this does put Slacking in the crossfire of a potential Weirdeer. Weirdeer is like ridiculously good here, right here. KO's the Slacking, 2 prize cards, can't be KO'd back if it got the V-Guard energy. If it has the V-Guard, because there is Choice Belt in Nicolo's deck. Oh, and Defiance Band. But we'll see how good the hand here is for Alexander. Alexander definitely was trolling. I think this is going to go get a research. If Alexander did not have a way to use this Luminion, then Alexander was definitely throwing. Oh, actually, I think it's a Burnett grab here. So we're probably not going to see the Weirdeer play. You can KO Slacking as well. Yeah, but you don't want to use Mew because Mew just dies back to Arceus. You want to use the Weirdeer because Weirdeer does not die. It's all about the deer. There's a Burnett for double Archeops. Yeah, I'm actually curious as to what Alexander does. It was Boss, Energy. I can't tell what the other card is, man. Boss, Energy. I think Alexander did troll by not putting using Luminion last turn to grab a supporter ahead of time. I'm pretty sure the rest of the hand here is dead for Alexander if there was a Path played. Would have had Read the Wind, but wouldn't have had to Read the Wind if Nicolo played the escape rope, which Nicolo did. Goes for the V-Guard here. So I don't like the V-Guard grab here because you want to save this for the Weirdeer. Now, it is possible it is possible that you can still get this V-Guard energy onto the Weird Deer later, but it's also possible that like Nicolo puts a Path to the Peak in play next turn, and then 2-hit KOs the Lugia. So, and then the V-Guard never makes its way to the Weird Deer. So I would like to see the V-Guard get saved here, actually. The V-Guard on the Lugia here does absolutely nothing. Like, 280 HP or an effective 310 is literally the exact same thing. And you could always just put the V-Guard on the Lugia next turn if you really wanted to stop it from the slacking KO. So, yeah, the V-Guard here is definitely a bad play. I think that the rest of the hand is a boss and a therapy energy here, or therapeutic energy. Energy instead of the V-Guard. You can just attach the therapeutic from hand or just get another jet. Probably therapeutic from hand would have been better. Just anything, to be honest. Mew EX with V-Guard survives Arceus. It would get KO'd by the Defiance Band, though. Attach, Charon's Care, and then we're going to go into a Trinity Charge here. So terrible start here from Nicolo. But can put the... No, that wouldn't be enough. Could have put the... It's not... Wait, but hold on. Nicolo could have gone Vengeful Punch active, Trinity Charge to slacking, active gets knocked out, 4 damage counters to the Lugia, top deck, I don't know, Iono, play Iono, get Choice Belt, knock out the Lugia with the slacking. But then doesn't have enough cards in hand to use Ultra Ball. No, you would have actually still had enough cards in the hand to use Ultra Ball. There's Nicolo. I think Nicolo should have put the Vengeful Punch on the active here. Oh no, you have a V-Guard on the active. Never mind, don't mind me. I literally forgot about the V-Guard on the active. So the Arceus is living a turn. So at least we have that going for Nicolo here. And gonna go for the Arceus setup, it looks like. Yeah, the slacking's not attacking next turn. Well, it could with a Melanie and a double turbo, I guess, but that's not good enough. Yeah, super far behind here for Nicolo. We do have the boss here for Alexander, though, so we should just see boss KO the Arceus off the bench here from Alexander. There's definitely a card that active has V-Guard, though. Yeah, I forgot about the V-Guard. Don't listen to me. Alexander might just not know about the Defiance. It's very possible Alexander does not know about the Defiance Band. That'd be like pretty reasonable for Alexander to not know about, to be honest. I don't even know what we're gonna grab here for Alexander to load up. You should probably put some energy in play. I just don't know what ones they should be and where they should go, to be honest. Thinking about therapeutic jet. It's the last therapeutic and the third jet. Gift to an Archeops to make it a pivot. Yeah, I think you can slow down the energy acceleration here as Alexander, to be honest. You could have thrown one more on the bench, Lugia, to be honest. I don't know. That's fine. Yep, there's the boss. Yeah, so I think Alexander definitely misplayed by not... If Nicolo had done the escape rope play and then also had a Path to the Peak there, I think Alexander's hand was just literally dead. Because he wouldn't have been able to use the Luminion. So Alexander definitely should have played the Luminion ahead of time and got a research, probably. Would have been the play. I think the rest of the hand was dead. Now that we're seeing how the rest of the hand played out, I don't think there was anything else left there. Nicolo's hand still sucks. I think it's just going to be a punch for 110. Wait, actually, yeah, 110. Or 100, actually, because of the V-Guard. Not 110, only 100. There's no double turbo. Yeah, pretty bad. For Alexander here, just Weird Deer. Weird Deer and win. This is literally a Weird Deer and win angle. There's a research in hand, I believe. Alexander's doing a whole lot of shuffling. It's a double turbo. Could put the Mezagoza in play. You might as well put the Mezagoza in play at this point, because if you attack with Weird Deer, the game just literally ends. So I would have put the Mezagoza in play here as Alexander. You should put the Mezagoza in play, used it, get Weird Deer if you get heads. And also, because we're going all in on the Weird Deer play, or not all in, we don't have to go all in, but you could load up some more energy and play with the Archeops, because the Weird Deer would pull it all together, so theoretically, if we get the Weird Deer. I think putting the Mezagoza in play here as Alexander is fine, because either you get heads on Mezagoza, so you get the Weird Deer, so you win, or you get tails on Mezagoza, and then you attack with Lugia, and you bump the Mezagoza. So you always put Mezagoza in play here to increase your odds of the Weird Deer. And now we whiff the Weird Deer from Alexander. We're still really far ahead here, in a really good spot, but definitely another mistake there from Alexander, for sure. Should play a little bit more heavily for the Weird Deer. Because, yeah, see, now we're just attacking with Lugia. Now we're just attacking with Lugia, and it seems like Alexander didn't even realize that the V-Guard was stopping the KO there. But it should be more than, what is this? 190? No, that's correct, actually. Yeah, because now we're attacking with Lugia anyways, and we could have bumped the stadium. The Mezagoza there. I think, and it seemed like Alexander realized that, because Alexander hesitated. After playing the research, Alexander hesitated for a second. Was like, and I was like, well, it's too late now. So we got the Vengeful Punch. Is there a possibility? It seems like there is a possibility here for Nicolo to make a comeback. I actually wonder if Alexander maybe should retreat to the... No, retreat to the bench Lugia doesn't make any sense ever, right? Nah, it's not that good, actually. I take it back. But, like, right now, you go Arceus, you get the V-Star, knock out the active, Gift Energy does trigger, second Lugia comes up, knocks out this, Slacking gets a... I don't know, Choice Belt, knocks out the Lugia, If the weirder doesn't happen to KO the slacking, then Nicolo can just go boss KO Luminion to win the game. It's possible. It could happen. Oh, does the V-Guard save it? Am I trolling? He doesn't know. V-Guard minus 31. Oh my gosh. I didn't do the math. I just thought it KO'd through the V-Guard. So this is a mistake for the Vengeful Punch on Nicolo's side then. Nicolo trolled by putting the Vengeful Punch in play. Yeah, that was a mistake there from Nicolo's side then. He's thinking about not benching the Arceus V to not have another liability left. The Vengeful and yeah, the Vengeful Punch wouldn't even matter to get the return KO because Alexander will always retreat. I don't hate the idea of Nicolo not benching that. I think Nicolo sees the line of play that I'm seeing here, but does Nicolo realize that it's not getting the KO on the active? I would assume not because of how Nicolo's playing this. We have a path there. The path doesn't need to be played this turn though as Nicolo. We might just go attack, not for the knockout, but could have Starbirth for the Choice Belt here and the Defiance Band to have that as a follow-up for the slacking to be able to KO the next Lugia. We see the Starbirth now. Could Starbirth for Vacuum plus Choice Belt though and actually still make it work? Because Nicolo does play a Vacuum. But just shouldn't have put the Vengeful Punch in play to begin with, to be honest. That was kind of a throw. And if you don't get this KO as Nicolo, I think you do just lose the game. But if you did get the KO this turn, I think there was actually a possibility for a comeback. There was a possibility for a comeback. Not really anymore, though. I think without getting the KO here, there's no real possibility for the comeback. Because Alexander should be retreating this 270 HP lug. It's not... You're never attacking with this Lugia into something with Vengeful Punch. I would hope. I'm praying that Alexander does not do that. I don't think Alexander will. Also, I just don't want to see it happen, though. I guess you could attack with the BDIF next turn as Nicolo. Right, what does it do? Hyperfang or something? How much are we swinging for? Do be swinging for 10 damage if we get heads. With a double turbo on it. Okay, I'm down. There's the path. There's the Choice Belt to the slacking. And there's the not KO. And I think Nicolo is just realizing it's a not KO. Yep. And gonna concede? And gonna concede. Okay, yeah. That's fair. That's a fair concede there for sure. Yeah, definitely just need to do the math. I mean, I missed the math myself. I don't even know if I like the path there from Nicolo. Well, actually, I do like the path there from Nicolo because Nicolo thought they were getting the KO. So I do like the path there from Nicolo because Nicolo was like, oh, I'm getting the KO plus path. Okay, pretty cool. But then was like, oh, wait, I'm not getting the KO. All right, I'll concede and go next, which I think is a fair time to concede. But this game was actually winnable. This game was actually winnable if Nicolo had just not misplayed and actually got the Choice Belt on the active Arceus. Or actually, instead of Choice Belt, you probably want the Defiance Band there and Choice Belt on the slacking. This game was actually winnable in 2 turns for Nicolo. So unfortunate to see it end that way. But yeah, a little bit of a miscount on the math there from Nicolo. Going to end in a loss in game 1. So could have played better. Let's check these prize cards real fast. Defiance Band is prized. Still have the Choice Belt, so it should be fine. 2 Judge prize and a Serena. That's a lot of draw supporters. BDIF is only 1 BDIF is prize. That's fine. Double Ultra Ball prize for Alexander might make it a little bit tough to get for the Lugia deck to get going. Ultra Balls are pretty important to get Arcaps on the discard pile, but Burnout or something like that could happen as well. It could be fine. All right, so Nicolo going first. Hand's good. Has Ultra Ball for the V-Star next turn. Has an Iono. Has the attach pass. Classic Arceus attach pass line. Alexander's hand looks pretty bad. And he's definitely going to immediately get responded to with a Arceus knockout. What do you even do here? It's just all energy. Double turbo active and pass. Well, this Snorlax is going down for sure here. Definitely want to save the Choice Belt here as Nicolo. Yeah, the Vacuum probably has to go. You want to save everything. Thinking about getting rid of the Gyarados. Isn't the Gyarados good? I feel like the Gyarados are pretty good. Gives up the Gyarados though. Thought we see the Vacuum bite the dust there, but gives up the Gyarados. Gonna go ahead and grab the Arceus V-Star. And then honestly, you don't even have to play the Iono here as Nicolo, and actually probably shouldn't. Does this list play a research or something? We did discard a water energy, so you could go for Melanie V-Guard, I guess. Yeah, Starburst for Melanie V-Guard. Yeah, I like that. Seems fine. Well, do you want to load something up instead? You could get like, I don't know, you could go slacking. Honestly, you could go double turbo slacking and load up slacking. Well, that's not that good either. What do you do here? I don't know. But you have the Boss Choice Belt, so if you did go for Melanie V-Guard, you could go Choice Belt Boss KO the Lugia V when it gets benched next turn if it doesn't get a V-Guard, which it probably won't. But I think this is fine as well. Choice Belt I would attach the Choice Belt to the bench here as well, probably. But I would not play the Iono here. Yeah, cool. Just knock out the active. You could have bossed the Mew, but they didn't use the Mew to draw any cards last turn, so it's probably fine. It's probably fine. Just load up the bench. We're chilling. Gift top deck from Alexander. I think we're going game 3. Yep. All right. That was quick. We will have Alexander going first in this one. Check the... Ooh, the Weird Ears prize. That's a big one. 2-path prize, though, for Nicolo and the Gyarados. So the Gyarados not going to be an option this game. Well, that's not true. Nicolo does play Heavy Ball. I was going to say not going to be an option at all, but that's not true. Does have the Heavy Ball, so it could be an option. And then 2-path to the Peak for Nicolo is prize, which is not great. But I guess the biggest thing here is the Weird Ear, to be honest. And I can't do an early Deer from Alexander. Might not matter, though. Just getting like a early Lugia KO on like an Arceus is going to be good enough. Tails on the Aroma. I don't know. Another Lugia, I guess. We'll see what else there's in the hand, though. Another one would be fine. Can't hate on a second lug in this matchup. Arceus deck would play Heavy Ball. I was actually before NAIC last year. Not last year, the year before last. The one that I won. I was testing an Arceus deck with only Arceus. Just 4/4 Arceus. And I had a Heavy Ball in there. Because you didn't want to prize an Arceus. Because it's literally your only Pokemon. The Heavy Ball is pretty good. When you have very few attackers, and Arceus is pretty much your only attacker, the Heavy Ball goes hard. There's the early V-Guard again. I feel like really Alexander needs to chill with this V-Guard energy. I don't know if there was a better option, to be honest. Well, he could have jetted up to the active. I guess that would have been fine. The V-Guard, I mean, for this situation, if the research does happen next turn, it is fine. But I like to see it stick around a little bit longer. So we could see a Vengeful Punch of the active here from Nicolo. Should Nicolo play for the V-Guard energy as well is a question. Is not going to. He's just going to give up on the active Arceus here. Or potentially give up on the active Arceus here. And then goes with the Vengeful Punch into the Iono. And then we'll see what the pull is here. No Archeops in the discard pile for Alexander yet. Fresh 6. I don't see... Ooh, that didn't look good, but I can't see everything. I see a Snorlax, a Boss. There's an Archeops in there. And of course, we're only like Luminium plus... Like, we're Luminium plus V-Star away from, like, cooking, so... I don't think the Vengeful Punch math is going to matter, right? I'm trying to think. I don't think the Vengeful Punch damage, or you get to 240? No, it shouldn't matter. I guess it would allow Gyarados or Slaking to get the KO, but that Lugia should be hit by then. Should probably be getting hit by then, so it shouldn't matter. So Greninja Grab from Nicolo. He's going to try and draw some cards with it, it looks like. Yeah, it does have the B-Barrel in hand, but wants more than that. Might even have 2 B-Barrel in hand? It's at least 1. Some Melanie in there as well. We'll see what Alexander has here. Am I excited for Braddock Shift? Of course. All right, Ultra Ball, 1 Chops, some Boss, Snorlax. Snorlax getting discarded. Well, you don't use... I guess you need only like 1, maybe 2 Snorlax in this matchup, to be honest. You don't need like the full... The full squad seems like it's not necessary. Gonna have to go with Luminion, though. You don't love putting that 2-prizer in play, but gotta play the game. And the question will be, is it gonna be a... Oh, there is the V-Star. So was it a Burnett? Sorry, I zoned out for a second there. It was the Burnett. Okay, I didn't think the V-Star was in hand. And we are going to get that first KO on the active here. 4 Colorless Energy on the way. I do like that the V-Guard is on the bench here, to be honest. The V-Guard being on the bench, I think, is definitely better. There's no way, even with his Vengeful Punch damage, there's still not a way for Nicolo to actually get the knockout on the active here. Even with the Choice Belt, Melanie, it's only going to be hitting for 230, which would be... some damage short. This is an aggressive first 2 prize cards here from Alexander, and will lead to that Weird Ear off the prize card. So this game could be over really quick. Alexander could just go like knockout, set up the Weird Ear. The Weird Ear can't be responded to. Dub. Yeah, you really need that early like path from Nicolo to like slow Alexander down. I think Alexander did have a Collapse Stadium in hand though as well, so I think there was an out to the path had it shown up. And the hand here from Nicolo is not great. We do see the Melanie though. Yeah, even with a triple non-double turbo energy attack, it's not going to be enough to get the KO. There's the Ultra Ball, and there's a Nest Ball. Is that the Gyarados in hand? I can't tell what that is. I thought it was an Arceus, but it might not be. We will be able to get the V-Star. I think it is the Gyarados. We will see the V-Star here from Nicolo, plus a new benched Pokemon. It's got to be Slacking, though, right? Because if it's... You got to get Slacking here as Nicolo. Because if you get Arceus, it's just going to get bossed. Is Slacking prized? It's not, right? Just the Gyarados V was prized. Yeah, I don't like that Arceus grab here from Nicolo. It's just going to get bossed. Alexander always has the boss here, every time. There's a Greninja for 2. So not attaching the active yet. Has a Path. Path would stop Luminion for a boss, which I think Nicolo should definitely play around here at this point. He's thinking about keeping the Gyarados as well, which is interesting. I think Nicolo always just loses to Luminion boss here, though. So not playing the Path here, I don't like that. We're not keeping the Path to potentially play it. Wait, what? Wasn't there a second B-Barrel in the deck? I'm so confused. Are we not taking the B-Barrel here? This Bidoof was on play last turn, right? Or did it come down this turn? Maybe it did come down this turn. Someone in chat tell me, when did this Bidoof hit the field? If it came down last turn, I guess it's okay to do it like this. Or it came down this turn, I guess it's okay to do it. I thought it came down last turn, though. All right, B-Barrel for 3. Not both same turn, same time. That's what I thought. So Nicolo just trolled there by not taking the other Bidoof, right? Unless we're trying to keep around that Bidoof to be able to attack with it next turn. I guess that's a possibility. We still have not got the energy for turn here from Nicolo. Once again, I do not like that Arceus. Also, no Slacking on this Nest Ball. So Nicolo like literally just loses to a boss here from Alexander. A boss KO on the bench. Arceus, because then you just lose to Weird Ear on the following turn. Actually, no. Nicolo just loses to Weird Ear this turn. Yeah, Nicolo literally just loses to Weird Ear this turn. Because the Weird Ear would just knock out the active, and if it has a V-Guard energy, it can't be KO'd back in response. Oh, but Nicolo is going to go for the Gyarados here. Okay. But it's the same thing, though. The Gyarados is just going to get boss KO. The Gyarados is still under the threat of the boss KO. Yeah, I do not like how Nicolo is playing this out at all. Yeah. Goes for V-Guard Heavy Ball. So we are going to get the Gyarados. So Nicolo is prioritizing the Gyarados, but still, that just loses to boss. Yeah, Nicolo's Gyarados is getting boss. Yeah, Nicolo just loses the boss here. There's no way you can overcome the prize trade if the Gyarados goes down to a Lugia attack here. With no heavy hitter set up. Has Nicolo played a supporter yet? Is Nicolo going to boss KO the Luminion? Nicolo does not. No path, so the possibility of Luminion is here. So it's very likely that Alexander hasn't access to a boss here. It's like very, very likely. Actually, no, wait. The V-Guard on the Weird Ear still just wins the game here, right? No, because you can put a Choice Belt on the Gyarados. But only load up 2 water. Or you could Melanie attach, I guess? So Alexander can either boss KO or risk Weird Ear V-Guard and hoping that Nicolo doesn't have Tool Card plus Melanie attach VMAX, which that's a lot to have, and I would doubt Nicolo would be able to draw into that next turn. But there's the boss in hand, so I think we're just going in with this boss here as Alexander. Oh, making sure we got the 4 energy. Don't want to not have that again for Alexander. And even has the collapse, so could bench the Weird Ear. You don't really want to you want to save the collapse and make sure you can activate your Weird Ear, though. That wouldn't make any sense. So we just load up a bunch of energy and play. Actually, no. Alexander could go Weird Ear, boss KO the Gyarados, and then that's just game, right? Yeah, Alexander can literally just go boss KO Gyarados with Weird Ear, with the V-Guard, and that literally ends the game. Now, I don't know if Alexander knows that ends the game, because Alexander doesn't know Nicolo's exact 60. Alexander doesn't know Nicolo's exact 60, so I don't know if Alexander knows that KOing the Gyarados here would literally win the game. So I wouldn't hold it. I don't think it's that big of a. It wouldn't be that big of a mistake for Alexander to not go for the win this turn. So if Alexander just goes boss KO Gyarados, that's good enough. And I believe there is a boss in the hand. Yeah, so like this is fine. If you do this with the Lugia, I think this is more than fine, to be honest, from Alexander. Because like if you went all in on the Weird Ear play thinking you had the win and then Nicolo has something to beat you, like that wouldn't feel very good. So like you're still super far ahead here as Alexander. Once again, I don't like the play from Nicolo though, because you just lose to boss, and now the boss has happened, so I think Nicolo's just gonna lose. Well, I mean, but like even if I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? You appreciate the Prime sub there. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but I appreciate it. Welcome to the Rat Pack. We're all out of cups, but we've got plenty of cheese. So yeah, you always lose the boss here anyway. So if you do the Slacking play, I feel like it just makes more sense. Slacking is also like... Slacking only gets... Just like Gyarados, Slacking also only gets KO'd by Weird Ear. So I think setting up Slacking here would have been more than sufficient. Because if the Weird Ear play happens, It's not like you're pressuring Alexander's energy to the point where Alexander won't ever have enough energy to 1-KO no matter what the active is, probably, with the Weird Ear. So, yeah. True Gamer. Yeah, so this is, yeah, there's no cards really here in the hand for Nicolo. No great options. We can start to see some drawing some cards. Also, probably should have sent up something that's not, well, once of all, it should have second B-Barrel in play. Could have sent something that's not the Arceus and then switch into the Arceus to draw more cards. I assume the play here from Nicolo, actually, there's just not a good play here from Nicolo. Path, and then we see B-Barrel for 3. Yeah, I was trying to come up with a good play. There's no good play here. It does have an Ultra Ball, so we can see another B-Barrel, or we could see the second Arceus come out, I guess. There's a double turbo on this Arceus. Where'd that double turbo come from? Has that always been there? Appreciate the Prime sub there. Menaces TV. Welcome to the Rat Pack. We're all out of milk. We got plenty of cookies. This final was weird. I mean, they are misplaying, for sure. They are just misplaying. Okay. There's the knockouts. We see a draw here off the gift from Alexander, and has the Weird Ear in hand, so that should just be game on this turn. Yeah, so Alexander, like, I don't, yeah, the play where Alexander could have boss KO'd the Gyarados with Weird Ear, just load up Weird Ear with a ton of energy and got the KO. I think it's fun, like, it's, I don't, yeah, like I said, for Alex there, like, making that mistake is like, it's like kind of like whatever, because it's like, you don't really know for sure that Nicolo won't have a response to you, because you probably don't know for sure everything that Nicolo has in his deck. So, but here comes the load up. There should be more than enough energy to get the knockout here on this Arceus, I think. That's a lot. That's 6. And then there's what? 4 there. 5. Here's the retreat. Load them up. Yeah, that's, I mean, I think that's enough. I'm not going to do the math. That looks like a lot. And then attack. There we go. All right. The dub for Alexander. Yeah, definitely a pretty sloppy on... This game was super sloppy from Nicolo, to be honest. I mean, Alexander played pretty much fine, like I said. Even like the play where Alexander could have boss KO'd Gyarados with Weird Ear to just basically lock up the game. Not doing that isn't like that bad, like I said, because it's like, does Alexander truly know that there's not a way for Nicolo to get the return knockout? I don't know. If I was in Alexander's situation, I don't even know if I would have made that play confident, because I've been like, I don't know, could they have, like, it's an Arceus Gyarados deck, bro. What the fuck is in here? Appreciate those 23 months there, Yoshi. So I think this, like, that was reasonable. But yeah, Nicolo played pretty poorly in this last game here. The first 2 games were pretty good, but yeah, it kind of fell apart here in the last one for sure a little bit.